welcome to Baseball Night in America. I'm Al Michaels, and those of us at ABC are delighted to be back in the business of broadcasting baseball for the first time since the 1989 World Series. And it's a brand new concept. We'll have 6 regular season games on ABC, including tonight and again on Monday night. Then we'll bring you the division playoffs in October, part of baseball's new expanded playoff format, and the World Series in late October. Baseball Night in America, a regionalized concept. You'll see a game in your region that's important to those of you in those particular areas. It also gives us the capability of updating games as never before. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the premiere of Baseball Night in America as we take you out to the ball games.
Looking at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. It's a home of the National League Central Division leaders, the Cincinnati Reds. And on a beautiful night for baseball in the Queen City, a 4-game series continues tonight with the Chicago Cubs. A pleasant good evening, everybody. I'm Marty Brennaman, and so pleased to be working. I can't tell you how pleased it is to be working with my son for the first time, Thom Brennaman.
And I can't tell you what a pleasure it is for me, and I'm putting it to bed right now. I can't believe people would ask to start with, I'm going to call you Dad all night. So we're getting that out of the way right now. Marty.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thom, the first place Cincinnati Reds, the last place Chicago Cubs. Why?
Well, everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong for the Cubs, Dad. A team ERA of 4.60. At home, 16-30 this season. It's been a killer. And I guess it's only right that here we are in Cincinnati, where baseball started professionally, on our inaugural broadcast of Baseball Night in America, and the Reds are rolling.
1869, the Cincinnati Red Stockings were unbeaten. 125 years later, this team obviously is not, but it has a 3.5-game lead over the Houston Astros in the division, and they've combined a lot of good things, most notably a strong bullpen, excellent offensive club, .291 team batting average, and a whole bunch of speed. This is the third of 4 in this series between the Reds and the Cubs. Starting pitchers tonight for Chicago, right-hander Mike Morgan, and for the Reds, it'll be right-hander John Roper. Stay with us from Cincinnati.
And welcome to our Baseball Night in America studios. I'm John Saunders. Welcome for the first time, but not for the last time. We will be here throughout the night to bring you up to date on every game being played in Major League Baseball. Some pretty interesting races already, including this one. Ken Griffey Jr. last night had 2 home runs against the New York Yankees. The Yankees won the game. They still lead the East, and tonight they'll send 13-game winner Jimmy Key against the Mariners. The Indians and the White Sox. Kenny Lofton had 2 steals last night as the Indians beat the White Sox in Game 2 of that series. They are tied for first in the American League Central. In the National League, in the East, it's all tied up between Atlanta and Montreal. Atlanta hosts Florida. San Francisco's at Montreal. In the Central, Cincinnati has the lead over Houston. Cincinnati hosting Chicago, Houston, and Pittsburgh. And in the West, the Dodgers on top. They are at Philadelphia tonight. We will keep you up to date on all of the games tonight. We'll get to the games right after this.
Chunks of a comet have started to hit Jupiter. NASA won't have pictures until later tonight, but this is what scientists think it will look like. Tomorrow on This Week with David Brinkley, how the nation's governors are coping with problems that Washington can't or won't solve.
Hot eats, cool treats, a Dairy Queen.
Everything about the Big Q value meal is big, except the price. It's just $2.99. You get a big double cheeseburger, 33% bigger than McDonald's or Hardee's quarter-pound burgers, large fries, and the humongous 44-ounce Big Q drink. The Big Q value meal at just $2.99. You won't spend big bucks to get yours.
Hot eats, cool treats, we treat you right.
While you're shopping, look for Ballard's new pegboard lunch meats. 4 delicious varieties to choose from, great prices, and try Ballard's new smoked sausage, premium bacon, and tasty wieners and bologna, family favorites. The quality name since 1946, Ballard's.
B-A-L-L-A-R-D-S, it's true. They're the best, stand the test, outclasses all the rest. Ballard's brings the best to you.
It
was called the dark and bloody ground. It was called the Promised Land. It was Kentucky. Come see the epic struggle to settle Kentucky.
Look out, Dano! Get back inside!
It's the stuff of legends. It's the legend of Daniel Boone. Don't miss it.
Driving doesn't just kill drunk drivers. Next time your friend insists on driving drunk, do whatever it takes to stop him.
The Castle. High volume, low price. 14 karat solid gold earrings or 6mm genuine pearl earrings. Your choice, only $19. High volume, low price. The Castle. Twice the jewelry, half the price.
Princess Di in Penthouse? Get the details on entertainment tonight.
Brennaman, I'm Marty Brennaman. The Reds are on the field. Tom, the Cubs batting order.
And it's brought to you by Anheuser-Busch. Here's the way Tom Trebelhorn's team will stack them up. Sean Dunston will lead off and play short. Batting second in left field, Derek May. Mark Grace hits third and plays first. Batting cleanup out in right, Sammy Sosa. Glenn Allen Hill, the center fielder. A new position for him. He'll bat fifth. Rick Wilkins does the catching, hitting sixth. Steve Bouchell down at third, bats seventh, hitting eighth. Second baseman Ray Sanchez. And on the mound, a 1-9 record. More on that later. Right-hander Mike Morgan.
And doing the pitching for the Cincinnati Reds tonight, a North Carolina native. You see his very impressive record. John Roper, 5-0. In fact, he is unbeaten for the season. He started the year out at AAA Indianapolis, where he went 7 and did not lose a ball game, and is 5-0 right now coming into this start tonight. A quick look at the Reds defense. Hal Morris first, Brett Boone second, Barry Larkin short, Tony Fernandez at third. An outfield left to right of Kevin Mitchell, Jacob Brumfield, Reggie Saunders with Eddie Taubensee behind the plate. Tony Fernandez, of course, an outstanding job this year. The first time he's ever played third, and he has done a whale of a job. Sean Dunston takes a strike, and this game is underway. Talking about Tony Fernandez, a guy who was a Gold Glover with the Toronto Blue Jays at shortstop, disgruntled over playing third, but my, has he ever more played it. Only 2 errors all year, and he leads National League third baseman in fielding percentage. Dunston, the Cubs shortstop. And John Roper quickly jumps out in front. No balls and 2 strikes. Tom, this is quite a story unto itself about this man right here.
Been amazing, Dad. Sean Dunston appeared in 142 games in 91. After 18 games into the 92 season, he underwent back surgery. Played 7 games at the end of last season. This year's healthy, and he has been terrific.
That he has. Roper misses away. The count of ball and a couple of strikes. I guess there was some talk back in the spring that maybe Dunston might be converted to the outfield. The question was as to whether or not he'd ever be able to play shortstop on a daily basis.
It's still not out of the question. Dunston himself has started to perhaps change his mind after seeing the way Robin Yount went from playing short into center field. It might extend his career a bit, not as hard on the back. And I think Sean, in about another year or two, might seriously consider doing just that.
And he's got the tools for playing the outfield. Not a whole lot of doubt about that. He's behind in the count. And he hangs in as he rips it foul off third base. The Cubs coming into this game 14 under 500. 37 wins and 51 losses as they go into play tonight. Let's take a look at the dimensions here at Riverfront Stadium, a stadium built back in 1970. You see down the lines 330 to both left and right, 375 in the alleys, and 404 to straightaway center field. Of course, artificial surface ballpark, and a stadium that opened back in a pennant-winning year of 1970 for a team that probably was in its second year of birth, known as a Big Red Machine, and quite a crowd on hand for what we said was an absolutely out-of-sight night weather-wise for baseball. And a good fastball by John Roper rings up Sean Dunston.
You know, you talked about the crowd. And it's a natural rivalry, the Cubs in Cincinnati. I think both fans of both cities and both teams are pleased they're in the newly formed National League Central. Everybody talks about the Cubs and the Cardinals rivalry. It's the exact same difference between the two cities of Cincinnati and Chicago as it is from Chicago to St. Louis.
And I think it bodes well as far as the 3-division concept is concerned as Derek May steps to the plate. Roper gets that strike in on the first pitch. When you talk about natural rivalries and you're talking about Cincinnati, Chicago, and St. Louis in the Central Division, something that could bode extremely well in the future. There's a good changeup by Roper. Once they go to an unbalanced schedule, it really has not worked, this 3-division concept, like it's going to work in the future.
Well, let the American League play that game.
Absolutely right. 2 strikes and nothing.
There you see Thom Trebelhorn. He took over for Jimmy Lefevre. It was a very unpopular move in the Cubs clubhouse when Lefevre was fired. They played exceptionally well in the month of September last year, had a winning record, and Trebelhorn is hoping to turn it around in the second half after a dismal first half.
Derek May with a 2-2 count. We're 1 out deep into this, the 3rd game of a 4-game weekend series between these 2 divisional rivals. Sean Dunston is struck out, and Roper throws the 2-2, and the sure-handed Fernandez for out number 2.
You know, Dad, Tony Fernandez complained a lot early in the season about playing third base. I think it's a little unfair when you hear announcers or writers bring up that he's still complaining. I'm sure he's not happy about being there, but you don't hear him talking about it as much as you did early in the season.
No, he's no more happy about the situation now, Tom, than he was when he realized that was going to be his position upon signing with Cincinnati. But to his credit, and as you said, he has basically kept his mouth shut over the last couple of months and has given this team the best defense at third base since Buddy Bell was here. And you know as well as I do, when you make that claim, you're saying a mouthful.
Oh, yeah.
Here is Mark Grace, the focal point of a lot of conversation on talk shows and in the print media in Chicago about where his future will be beyond 1994.
And I think it's very much up in the air because Grace has not had a Mark Grace-like season. You saw the batting average, home runs, RBIs this year.
He stings this one. Saunders will hold him to only 1 base as Grace takes a wide turn. So a 2-out base hit by Mark Grace will keep the Chicago first inning going.
You know, the thing about Grace, he's never been a home run hitter. As he looks at a fastball and just drives it into right field for the first Cubs hit. But Grace knocked in 98 runs a season ago. He'll fall far short of that, barring a miracle in the second half. So will they bring him back? Maybe. But I don't think the Cubs are going to be spending $4.5 or $5 million over a multi-year deal the way they probably figured they would have to after the year Grace had last season.
Here's a #1 power threat on this club. The numbers would certainly indicate that. And Sammy Sosa, their right fielder, the ex-Chicago White Soxer. And Tom, when you think about the trade that brought him over a couple of years ago in return for George Bell, it's been a far better trade for the Cubs than it has for the White Sox.
The single best deal Larry Himes has made as general manager. Sosa for George Bell. Bell is pumping gas now in the Dominican Republic.
Sanders got it. The inning is over. The Cubs get a hit. They leave a man. The Reds will be coming to bat after a half inning in Cincinnati. No score.
Buick Regal is winning the hearts of Americans who once drove imports. Now they're demanding Buick quality, and they appreciate Regal's unique features like remote keyless entry, dual-zone climate controls, and steering wheel radio controls, a combination of features unavailable on Toyota Camry and Honda Accord. In fact, many former import owners now look overseas, only because they enjoy the view.
In honor of Sandlot players everywhere, Country Time and JCPenney would like to make an offer of major league significance. Now, in every canister of Country Time, you'll find a $5 certificate good toward baseball apparel for kids and adults at JCPenney. $5 off hats, t-shirts, and jerseys. So hurry in with your certificate. Because, like summer, this offer won't last forever.
Every year, American business wastes millions of dollars on international calls by using the wrong long-distance company. Now you don't have to waste that money. Introducing MCI's Proof Positive Worldwide. Save up to 50% off typical international calls around the world. Call by September 30th and get 1 month of free long distance. Call MCI now and put your money back in your business.
This is the game the world has been waiting for. Italy meets Brazil for soccer's ultimate prize. It's the World Cup Final live Sunday on ABC.
On we go to the bottom of the first inning here in Cincinnati. Here's the Reds lineup tonight presented by Anheuser-Busch. Leading off in center field, filling in for the injured Deion Sanders, Jacob Brumfield. Arguably the best all-around shortstop of the game in the number 2 spot, Barry Larkin. Hal Morris, having a monster year, will bat third at first base. The cleanup hitter and the club leader in home runs in left field, Kevin Mitchell. Reggie Sanders bats number 5. He's in right. Tony Fernandez hits 6th at third base. Second baseman having a great first year in the National League, Brett Boone bats 7th. Catcher Eddie Taubensee will hit 8th. And the pitcher, John Roper, the right-hander, will bat number 9.
See the numbers on Mike Morgan. They have not been impressive. Last season, 10 and 15. His best year, his first year with the Cubs in '92 when he went 16 and 8.
And he's going to work on Jacob Brumfield, and this young man has been politicking all year to get some playing time, and now he's getting it. Steps in tonight batting .294 with a couple of home runs, and he's been just what the doctor ordered to replace Sanders. We'll be talking about Deion a bit later on tonight, but Jacob Brumfield has really struck a blow for himself in terms of getting more playing time down the road. He has been very patient at the plate, which has not been in years past a characteristic of Jacob Brumfield, but he has shouldered the responsibility of batting in the leadoff spot, and he's been taking the base on balls when the situation has cropped up rather than chasing bad pitches. Tom, a key, an early key. Is there one to tell whether or not Mike Morgan is on his game or not? That's a base hit. They can forget that. Brumfield aboard with a leadoff base hit. And let's go to John Saunders for a Baseball Night in America update. John?
Indians and the White Sox in the American League Central, a dead heat. Carlos Baerga starts things off here, rockets this one to left field. Tim Raines is after it. Vizquel comes all the way around to score 1-0. The Indians score first. They are on top. Right now, let's take you back to Thom and Marty.
Jacob Brumfield has delivered a leadoff base hit, an infield single, and Barry Larkin, while trying to advance the runner with a bunt, I think it was a twofold situation there. He was also trying to bunt for a base hit.
I think you're right, and Larkin did that, in fact, in last night's game. 2 on, nobody out. Pushed a bunt up the first base line and beat it out for an infield hit. You know, Dad, you asked about Mike Morgan. I think one key for him will be control, and you'll know early on. It starts this year. He's walked as many as 5. A couple of games 4, a few games at 3. He needs his control to win games, keep hitters off balance and change speeds.
Barry Larkin, after a slow 1994, has been absolutely on fire over the last 5 weeks. The batting average right now only 1 point shy of his season's best, and at .289, that was a couple of nights ago. But Barry Larkin swinging the bat right now the way fans in the National League, and especially here in Cincinnati, have grown accustomed to watching him swing the bat over the last 5 years. A 300-plus hitter. Runner goes. They've got only one play. Sanchez will take care of Larkin. Baseball Night in America is brought to you by Buick and your local Buick dealers. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. And Country Time, pink lemonade flavored drink mix with a taste of good old-fashioned lemonade. And MCI, the company that brings you Proof Positive. Runner at second. Hal Morris at the plate. So the Reds bid to get on the board here in the first inning. They started Brumfield. When the Reds tried to play run and hit, Larkin's ground out, but it kept the Reds out of a double play situation and puts Brumfield into scoring position for this man having a humongous season.
You know, you talk about Morris, and you saw the numbers a minute ago. 69 runs batted in. His prior career high 10, or actually came in when he knocked in 59 in 1991. So already 10 better than that. I don't think anybody's surprised that he's hitting well over 350. That's nothing new.
No, there are people who feel, and I concur, that sometime down the road he will win a batting championship in the National League. He came close a couple of years ago when Tony Gwynn got him on the final day of the year. A young man who just has great hitting abilities, and his approach really goes against many of the edicts of being a good hitter. Watch his movement in the batter's box as the pitcher goes into his motion just prior to coming to the plate. Constant movement in that batter's box, and at one time they felt like they had to discourage this, and they finally realized, hey, this is his comfort zone. This is why he is such a good hitter.
And it's not just his front foot.
Right.
Both feet will start moving around.
Good pitch by Morgan, rings up Hal Morris for the second out of the inning.
Well, Lou Piniella, when he came from New York to Cincinnati, he knew all about Hal Morris from the minor league system with the Yanks. And that was one of the first deals he pulled off when then Reds general manager Bob Quinn. They brought Morris over immediately, and he led them to a World Series in 1990.
2 down, runner at second base. We're in the bottom of the first inning in Cincinnati. The Reds and the Cubs, no score. Chicago won the opening game Thursday night 4-3. The Reds had a big 5-run third last night en route to a 7-1 win behind Jose Rijo, and added a game more to its lead over Houston, which now stands at 3.5. Kevin Mitchell. And that ball in the dirt will get Jacob Brumfield to third. Charge Mike Morgan with a wild pitch and put Jacob Brumfield at third base.
You know, I want to say one thing about Mike Morgan, and we talked about his numbers this season, and certainly it's not the kind of numbers the Cubs figured to have from him. He is the #1 guy as you see this pitch. And Rick Wilkins has had a few problems this season handling balls in the dirt. That's a ball that should have been picked up as Brumfield goes on to third. But Morgan has had a lot of family trouble. His mother has fallen with cancer. His father had a brain aneurysm back in spring training, and his wife has had some health problems. Now, I'm not making excuses for him, and Mike won't make them either, but it has been a very trying year for him off the baseball diamond.
Kevin Mitchell trying to get the first run of the night home. He's had a big year when he's been in that lineup, and Rick Wilkins will pay some attention to Jacob Brumfield, who just this past weekend stole home a flat straight steal. He was the only runner on base, stole home Sunday afternoon, and could have stolen home standing up. He opted to slide. It was not necessary, and on that previous pitch he came down the line like he was going to try it again. Kevin Mitchell gets a job done for Cincinnati. A 2-out single. Brumfield across, and Cincinnati takes a 1-0 lead.
People can say whatever they want about Kevin Mitchell. He's overweight. He may not come to play every day. Injuries seem to catch up with him. But one thing he does is a lot of this. Drive-in runs. Mitchell last season played in 93 games and hit everything in sight. This season he's playing a lot more, and that's his 52nd run batted in.
So Mitchell gets his team on the board, and the first inning continues for Reggie Saunders. When you talk about young players in Major League Baseball today who seem to have bright futures, this young man will be right up there with the best of them. He embodies every necessary attribute toward being a superstar in this game. He can hit for power, he can run. He has developed into one of the better right fielders in the National League. Last night he hit a home run to the upper deck in left field in this ballpark, which is only the 16th time it's been done in the stadium's 24-year history, and he's only the 10th man to do it.
Very similar in terms of just raw talent to Cub right fielder Sammy Sosa. They have the entire package. The only difference right now, Saunders is probably a better defender in right than Sosa.
Out of play. You got to look a moment ago at Davey Johnson, who came to this club on May 24th of last year under tremendous controversy when one of the most beloved players in the history of this franchise, Tony Perez, was fired as manager. It was a terrible year for this club, but Davey Johnson has taken advantage of the good players that general manager Jim Bowden has brought to him and has had a big year. They get the force at second on Mitchell, but the Reds do damage. A run, 2 hits, 1 left. 1 inning in the books in Cincinnati. Reds 1, Cubs nothing.
3-2 pitch to Griffey.
My, oh Oh, my! It's a chater. It's a dinger. It's out of here. It'll fly away. It's back. Going, gone. On a 400-foot ride. Into the next county. Raise the window, Aunt Minnie. Here it comes. Kiss that one goodbye. So long. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Good night. Sayonara, baby. Goodbye, Mr. Rawlings. That ball ain't coming back. And Griffey will touch them all. Holy cow!
Someone very special is on that train. That's why you're driving a Buick LeSabre. You love its powerful V6 engine, anti-lock brakes, and steel safety cage body unit. But you bought LeSabre for the dual airbags, one for you and one for that very special person who sits next to you. LeSabre from Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
Okay, race fans, the Brickyard 400 is coming August 6th, and there are 2 ways you can win. Number 1, become a NASCAR driver. Dedicate your life to speed, build a race car, get a fire suit, hire a pit crew, and master the sport in less than a month. Or number 2, play the Budweiser Pace Car Sweepstakes. Grab a Brickyard 400 handbook wherever you buy Budweiser. Kick back, watch the race, and you could win one of 4 Chevrolet Monte Carlo pace cars. So it's up to you. A life of torque and compression ratios, or a nice afternoon of racing with the king of beers.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You know he's not perfect, but on certain days in his life, he has been. The night he poured in 63 points, the time he crushed 3 home runs in the World Series, the day he found Dwight Clark in the end zone. And you wish at some point, at some moment in your life, you could be that perfect too. And that's why you cheer for him. That's why you believe in heroes.
Sunday, you'll scream as Bob Saget introduces you to some really hip cats.
This is a miracle.
Tell your friends, America's Funniest Videos Sunday on ABC.
Well, when you've got 2 rivals taking part in a head-to-head confrontation as the Reds and the Cubs are, and you've got a great day for baseball, why not have a great crowd? And indeed they do here in Cincinnati. As you take a look at this stadium, the Cubs getting ready to bat in the top of the 2nd, and John Roper's been given a 1-run lead with which to work. That's Glenn Allen Hill, the Chicago center fielder.
Hill inserted into center field and playing every day starting about 3 weeks ago. And he has done a fine job. You know he can hit, but I don't think anybody envisioned he would play center field defensively as well as he has. He came over from Cleveland last year in another good trade made by Larry Himes, the general manager.
Hit it hard. And Mitchell didn't play that ball very well. It was hit hard, but that ball very catchable. And it was on top of Mitchell almost before he had enough time to react on it, and it goes over his head and out of here for a ground rule double, but that ball could very easily have been caught.
Well, it looked like Mitchell took the wrong angle. I don't think Mitchell thought this ball was hit as well as it was. Kind of off the end of the bat, but Hill is so strong he just drives it into left field, and there you see Mitchell. He took the wrong angle. In fact, he was coming right to left. He should have been going back on the ball.
Hit number 2 for the Chicago Cubs as they bid to try and tie it up here in the 2nd, and here's catcher Rick Wilkins. Tommy Wilkins had a sensational season last year, but 1994 has been a struggle for him. Why?
His strike zone has expanded, Dad. Everything north and south, everything east and west he's swinging at that he did not a season ago when he hit over 300 and hit 30 home runs. And that's what I'm talking about.
Well, he smoked that ball. And, oh, Jacob Brumfield almost came up with a great catch. Extra bases for Wilkins. RBI. Game time. Back-to-back doubles by Glenn Allen Hill and Rick Wilkins.
Now here's the pitch that Wilkins has not handled all year long. The pitch is up, and generally he's been swinging and missing at this ball all year long. But that time he got the bat speed around in time, drove it into right center. Brumfield almost made a great catch. But Wilkins only his 26th run batted in this season.
I guess it should be pointed out that Rick Wilkins was an extremely slow starter last year, but not this slow.
Right.
Third baseman Steve Bouchell. A run is in. The game is tied. Nobody out. And Steve, like good players are supposed to do, trying to go the other way with that inside-out swing to get Wilkins over to third base.
Bouchell is the most fundamentally sound player on this Cub team. He might not hit the kind of home runs that he used to hit in terms of numbers, but when it comes to getting a runner down to third more times than not, he's the man Thom Treblehorn wants batting. Ideal situation for the Cubs.
Well, he takes a shot the other way again, and again it's foul, and he's in a hole now at 2 strikes. That's Rick Wilkins, who just picked up the RBI. These clubs have played 7 times this season. The Reds have won 5 of the previous 7. In fact, the only 2 games the Cubs have won, those victories have been authored by rookie right-hander Steve Traxel, who was a winning pitcher here on Thursday night. A piece to stay alive.
You know, we brought up earlier, Dad, the Cubs this season at home, 16 wins, 30 losses. On the road under Thom Treblehorn, they're a 500 team. And it's quite simply put, offense is the difference. At home, they average a little better than 3 runs a game. On the road, almost 5. It's amazing watching them day in and day out. The way this club just takes the field, the way they carry themselves away from home as opposed to Wrigley Field.
And now Dobbins, he can't find it. That's going to be a wild pitch against John Roper. So Steve Bouchell doesn't have to concern himself now with trying to advance a runner to third for on-deck hitter Ray Sanchez. Now he's thinking RBI and a 1-run lead. Dobbins, he has a heck of a time trying to locate the ball. Not that it would have made a whole lot of difference had he been able to track it down initially. It would have not kept Wilkins from going to third. That gets a run in. 2-1 ball game. Chicago takes the lead here in the second inning.
It's exactly what I'm talking about. Steve Bouchell, he knew the job he had to do, and that's quite simply put the bat on the ball, and it brings in Wilkins from third. He does so, and the Cubs lead for the first time tonight.
Tom, you talk about the struggles the Cubs have had at home, and I can remember when the Reds were in Chicago for the first time, they broke the consecutive losing streak.
At 12.
Yes, when Steve Traxel beat them. Is it a matter now, as Mike Morgenstern, rather Ray Sanchez bats, of feeling the heat every time they tee it up at Wrigley Field, knowing how bad a team they've been at home?
I don't think so. I think if they could find the answer to their problems at home, they obviously, would have had them ironed out by now.
I would think.
Offense, offense, offense. They just haven't hit. They get out homered. Teams outrun them. Everything that the opposition needs to do to beat them when they come into Wrigley Field, the opponents have found a way to do it.
Hit well down the right field line. Curving foul. Sanchez will come back.
Of course, that was a game after the Cubs started the year breaking a National League record, losing 12 straight games at home out of the chute, where they paraded the Billy Goat around Wrigley Field before the game.
Ernie Banks was there that day.
The curse of the Billy Goat goes back to the 1940s, when they didn't let the Goat, who had come to every game during the regular season, come to the games in the World Series. There was a curse put on, and they've never been to the game World Series since.
Brumfield gets Sanchez's fly ball. Have they ever thought of traveling the Goat?
Yeah, I suggested that they stay in the room, in fact, of Ron Santo, the former Cub great third baseman who now broadcasts the games on the radio. Ron said he'd be happy to bring the Goat if the Cubs could get to the World Series for the first time since 1945.
Well, for you Cub fans, stay tuned.
Indeed.
That might be another chapter before this season comes to an end. Here's Mike Morgan with 2 out. And that should end the inning. The Reds head toward the dugout as Brumfield hauls it in, but 2 runs on 2 hits. The club rally as you take a look at Ron Santo. And in the middle of the second, Chicago leads by a run.
One of the most striking designs of the decade. The all-new Riviera by Buick.
We're going for a walk. On your feet. Stretch. Stand tall. Shoulders back. Head level. Let's go! You know, a brisk walk is a great aerobic exercise that burns off calories. Gets rid of that pot belly.
Oh, brother.
There. Feel better? Ah, dog lips!
For more facts on healthy walking, call for your free MetLife booklet.
When I played basketball, I always wanted the ball. And I got it where it should go. And I always drank Gatorade, because nothing's better. Now I'm playing baseball. I still drink Gatorade. I still want the ball. I still know where it should go. And sooner or later, I'm gonna get it there. I hope. It's gotta be Gatorade.
Pringles Light has become Pringles Right Crisps. Still a third less fat, and now better taste than this.
That's right! Got new Pringles Right Crisps! That's right! Less fat and better taste than this! That's right! Better taste and less grease, the proof's right here you see! That's right! It's gonna tip up Sam O'Brien! Pringles Right Crisps, the taste bob's here! Pringles Right Crisps, the taste bob's here!
A whole new concept in advanced ergonomic design is something that will make you very comfortable. The all-new Riviera by Buick.
An elite group of golf's best tee off in the final round of their sports premier international event. From Turnberry in Scotland, it's the British Open tomorrow here on ABC.
Well, the Reds find themselves down 2-1 as they bat for the second time tonight. That young man is hoping to leave here tonight thinking Cincinnati win. Right now his club down a strike, and here's a switch hitting Tony Fernandez. We talked about his defensive work, but his offensive numbers, and he's in a slump right now. He was up around the 310 mark before going into a couple of games tailspin in which he's not had a hit in this series, and really has gone somewhat against the grain this season. Up until this year, he's been a better hitter left-handed than right-handed with more power. But he's been a better hitter this year average-wise from the other side of the plate. And his 8 home runs have been divided right down the middle. 4 right-handed, 4 left-handed. Tony, of course, signed a 1-year contract with the Cincinnati Reds, and I don't think there's much hope that they will entice him to come back in 1995 and play third base again. He wants to go somewhere where he can play shortstop. Tomorrow night on ABC, it's America's Funniest Hour, followed by Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. Then Gene Hackman and Willem Dafoe star in Mississippi Burning. All tomorrow right here on ABC.
Sean Dunston showing off his arm, undoubtedly the best arm at shortstop in the major leagues. It's not even close.
If you had one like that, would you show it off?
I wouldn't be broadcasting.
Very good point. Here's Brett Boone. Now keep an eye on this young man. Every time he swings, he airs it out. If he's down 0-2, if he's down 1-2, many times you'll see a guy shorten up on his swing and try to go the other way. Not this guy. There's a pretty good indicator right there. He goes up there wailing. Check it out one more time and watch the way he just airs it out. And we'll do it every time. Every single time. He had a home run here Thursday night. Line one over the left center field wall off a right-hander, Jose Bautista, and it had some hemp on it. Here's another good throw by Dunston, but not this time. But close.
Very close. No other shortstop in the National League makes it this close. Dunston standing flat-footed when he threw this ball from the hole at short. And he airmails this to Mark Grace. Watch Dunston after he sees Bouchell can't get it in the hole, flat-footed, fires, and just missed getting it.
Tom, another reason why if they ever decide to put him in the outfield, he'll work out.
The way the Cubs pitching staff has gone, he might get out on the hill.
Here's Eddie Taubensee. Reds have just picked up their third hit off Mike Morgan. And that's the double play. And that is the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, none left. We have progressed through 2 here in Cincinnati, and the Cubs have the early 1-run lead behind Mike Morgan.
Budweiser welcomes you to the Voodoo Lounge. The Rolling Stones Voodoo Lounge Tour, live. Only one band is rock and roll, and only one beer can bring it to you. Budweiser, King of Beers.
2 MVPs, 2 rings. I've been working hard. Maybe this year, I'll take a little time off. There, that was refreshing.
All men are created equal. Some just work harder in the preseason.
Chevy Camaro. What else would you expect from the country that invented rock and roll?
Keith told us that he would never, ever get a chance to meet Ken Griffey, and Make-A-Wish has granted that for him.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you? It's maybe the only wish that he ever has. And it's like, yeah, I've never turned anyone down, and I won't, because you never know how long they have. Anything you want to know? Keith said the only thing I want from you is a bat, and he wanted to toss. Those are the only 2 things that he wanted. It's an experience that you can't forget.
Is this your favorite player right here?
Yes.
You picked a good one. How do you feel about increased male potency?
Better sex through science. Why not?
Lewis has the formula guys are dying for. Lewis and Clark, Sunday on ABC.
With Thom Brennaman, Marty Brennaman back at Riverfront as we go to the top of the 3rd. And for the Cubs, they'll start through their batting order for the 2nd time in the game against John Roper. Here's Sean Dunston. Struck out to begin the game. A good breaking ball by Roper. He is a 3-pitch pitcher: fastball, curveball, and a changeup, and pretty much throws them equally and has been able to get them all over with regularity. Hence the fine record up to this point. One shortstop throws out another for out number 1.
Before the ball game tonight, Dad, the Cubs a bit of bad news. They put right-hander Anthony Young on the disabled list. Everybody knows the story of Anthony Young. We'll get back to that here in just a minute.
Baseball Night in America brought to you by Chevrolet. The cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. And Budweiser, Beechwood Age for a clean, crisp, classic taste. And Goodyear, #1 in tires. First pitch inning, Derek May, a ground rule double. That's the 3rd 2-base hit among the 4 hits that the Cubs have had here in 2+ innings off John Roper. And Derek May standing out at 2nd with his first knock of the night.
Tom Trebelhorn has said the key to improving this team over the 2nd half is more production from his 3 key left-handed batters: Derek May, Mark Grace, Rick Wilkins. The 3 combined to knock in less than 100 runs the first half of the season. They had monster years last year. If Tom Trebelhorn's going to get it turned around, guys like May, Grace, who bats now, and Wilkins have to produce.
Mark Grace is 2 for 2. And they'll not test the arm of Jacob Brumfield, who makes up for what he might lack in arm strength by getting to the ball very quickly and throwing accurately. Tony Muser, the 3rd base coach, knows that. He held the lead runner up as you look at Jose Martinez over at first base with Mark Grace.
And we talked about left-handed batters. Grace 2 out of 2. May a double here in the inning. Wilkins has already knocked in a run. And you see Brumfield finally realizing he better get that ball back in, because although Muser held the runner at 3rd, if he waves him around right from the start, Derek May catches Brumfield napping.
Cubs have now had 5 hits. You're looking at Sammy Sosa. This is a man they like to have up there in situations like this. 1st and 3rd. Their top run producer, 52 RBIs, 20 home runs. Somebody once said of Sammy Sosa, All you have to do is write his name down on the lineup card every day because he wants to play every day.
No question about it. He's never hurt, knock on wood, and he loves playing this game. He'll make some mistakes that drive you crazy in the outfield, but he is a fine player.
Can the Reds turn one quick enough to end the inning?
Yes.
Yes. They take John Roper out of trouble with that 6-4-3 job. And at the end of 2.5 innings, the Cubs lead the Reds at Riverfront in Cincinnati, 2-1. Roper, Brumfield, and Larkin coming up for the Reds team.
The only real game, I think, in the world, baseball.
He was the Bambino, the Sultan of Swat, the Wali of Wallop, the Wazir of Wham, the Maharaja of Mash, the Raja of Rap, the Caliph of Clout, the Behemoth of Bust.
From the upcoming PBS documentary, Baseball, a General Motors Mark of Excellence presentation.
Chances are, at one time or another, you've had a Chevy in your life. Maybe it's just because more people drive Chevrolets than any other brand. Or maybe it's because we've always believed that what it's really all about is finding a car or truck you can love. Over the next few months, Chevrolet will introduce more new cars and trucks than anyone else. Every one designed not just to occupy a space in your garage, but to find a place in your life. Genuine Chevrolet.
Category.
Music.
Deep Purple, man. Classic.
Foreigner.
Huh? Yeah, man.
First album.
Yeah, okay.
Cool. Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
Meatloaf. Wonder what his friends call him. Meat?
Mr. Loaf. How about My Sharona?
Beechwood aged Budweiser.
Supertramp.
Crisp, clean, classic.
Frampton comes alive.
Moment of silence, please. Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, all right.
A simple verse for a simple sale this week at Goodyear on these selected Goodyear tires for cars and light trucks. Buy 3 at regular price, 4th one's free. Isn't that swell? Swell?
When you come to TGI Fridays, it's going to be great. Why? It's Friday's passion. We're compulsively preoccupied with the notion that we have to guarantee every day, every time, that at Fridays, it's going to be great. Guaranteed.
St. Petersburg, Russia welcomes the world's finest athletes to one of the biggest international events of the year, the Goodwill Games. Coverage begins next Saturday here on ABC.
Well, we're pleased that you've elected to spend your Saturday night with us on Baseball Night in America as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. John Roper leading it off, the Reds pitcher, against his opposite number, Mike Morgan.
This is a good hitting pitching staff for Cincinnati. All 5 of the starters, Roper, Shorrock, Rijo, Hansen, and John Smiley, well over 200 batting averages.
And that's a benchmark for a pitcher. If a pitcher hits 200 or better, he can swing that bat pretty well. Roper, an excellent athlete. 1 away here in the 3rd for Cincinnati.
You know, we started to talk about Anthony Young, and everybody knows the story about the 27 straight losses, which set a major league record, carrying over a couple of years with the New York Mets. Came to the Cubs in a late deal for Vizcaíno, and I got to tell you something, he's made a believer out of me. 398 earned run average, 4-6 record. He has thrown very, very well. He pitches every game into the 7th inning. He went on the disabled list today with a tender right elbow, and that's bad news for the Cubs because he's been a very dependable starter in that rotation. It's retroactive to July the 10th.
Take Brumfield 1 for 1 with a run scored. Brumfield extended his hitting streak to 6 in a row with that leadoff infield hit to shortstop in the 1st inning, and he has scored the Reds' only run today. Reds have had 3 hits in a run in the first 3 innings off that man right there, Mike Morgan.
But Dad, he's throwing well tonight. A lot better than we've seen him over about a 4 or 5 start run.
Well, ultimately, somebody's got to pay for a fella trying to shake himself out of a personal slump.
And what better place?
Unfortunately, tonight it might be Davy Johnson's ball club.
Well, I have to get you somewhere down the line.
He's walked Brumfield.
Many believe that Mike Morgan personally could not take the pressure of being the #1 guy. We talked about him going 16-8 back in '92 when he came to the Cubs, but he was the #2 starter in that rotation. The #1 guy was Greg Maddux.
Right.
And you know what he's done ever since leaving.
Best pitcher in the game?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. Morgan concerned about the possibility that Brumfield might run, and he might.
Brumfield 4 steals. He's been thrown out twice.
Now, is Mike Morgan giving Jacob Brumfield his best shot right now,
Not
or is
yet.
he lulling him into a false sense of security and then hitting him with a big one?
He'll hit him with a big one. He's got a pretty good move for a right-hander. You know, the thing that scares you about Cincinnati when you talk to other clubs around the National League, they're very similar to Montreal. The one thing Atlanta doesn't have this year that they've had the last couple of years is speed. When they had Deion Sanders and Otis Nixon, they don't have that anymore, but they can beat you to death with power. Cincinnati and Montreal can hurt you with a long ball, and they can run you out of the ballpark.
Well, one of the shocking things about this Reds team, if anyone, and Davey Johnson and I talked about it a few days ago, had anyone told him that on the 1st of July your team would be leading the National League with a .292 batting average, as good an offensive team as he thought he had, and he did think he had one when the season started, you never expect to have a team batting over .290 with half the season gone. And this team right now is sitting at .291, which is obviously the best in the league. All right, let's take a look at the move we were talking about relative to Mike Morgan. He's thrown over repeatedly.
Well, you see, he's really not airing it out right there. Just kind of about a 60% toss over. And when he feels Brumfield's getting his largest lead is when he'll really snap one over there. You know, you bring up the Reds average of .291. And to give you an idea, backing up what you're talking about, the second best hitting team in the National League, Colorado, the average falls off to .279.
Barry Larkin certainly had an awful lot to do with this club's offensive resurgence this year. And he showed the bunt, bringing Mark Grayson from first base.
See the Cubs defensively. There's a big hole between Bouchell at third and Dunston at short. And the other hole, of course, created on the right side with Grace holding the runner on at first.
Now, you saw the defensive alignment in the infield. Now, in the outfield, and this is something that Barry Larkin looks at all the time. Every outfield in this league basically plays him as an opposite field hitter. And Barry pretty much can go to right field almost any time he wants to, and also has the ability, as good hitters do. If you miss with a pitch, you meaning the pitcher, middle of the plate in, he can turn on you and turn on you for power. They did not have time to decoy Jacob Brumfield, otherwise he could have been in trouble.
Well, Larkin won after ball 4. With a hit and run on, he swung at a pitch that he otherwise wouldn't take a cut at.
Baseball Night in America is brought to you by Chevrolet. The cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. And Budweiser, Beechwood aged for a crisp, clean, classic taste. And Goodyear, #1 in tires. Two down, Hal Morris at the plate, 2-1 Chicago, third inning, and a wild one, the second of the night, delivered by Mike Morgan, will send Brumfield to second.
Well, the right side of the Cincinnati infield missed out on the All-Star game because of the numbers game. Morris having a spectacular year, and so is Brett Boone. But Carlos Garcia, somebody had to make it from every ball club, and Garcia the lone representative of the Pirates. And there are so many good first basemen in the National League, and Morris along with Andres Galarraga the odd men out.
Saw other scores from this first night of action in the regular season on Baseball Night in America. Mike Morgan, when he's on top of his game, is a ground ball pitcher. I think last year 69% of the outs that he recorded were balls hit on the ground. And if for no other reason, and there's a rocket and a nice play by Sanchez to get Morgan. We'll continue with that point later. The inning is over. No runs, no hits. The Reds leave a man. And we've completed 3 with the Cubs out in front 2-1. Baseball Night in America will return after these messages from your local station.
Starting August 1st, Coach is moving to a new night, Mondays. But till then, you can still see Coach on Tuesdays. Coach is moving to a new night, Mondays, starting August 1st, here on ABC.
Just listen to what you get with a new Ford Escort, America's best-selling small car, 2.9% financing, and a free Sony Discman. Plus, you get a driver's airbag standard, a superior ride, roomy interior, and a car that's fun to drive. And now, buy or lease any new Escort by July 31st, and you get a free Sony Discman and 2.9% financing. Whew. Catch your breath, then go see your participating Ford dealer today.
Introducing Arby's new chicken fingers. Big whole strips of real white meat chicken breast, specially seasoned, cooked golden brown. Arby's chicken fingers are just like the chicken fingers you'll find at popular trendy restaurants. Well, with a few differences. Try the new chicken fingers. Only at Arby's.
Free this Saturday and Sunday for 17 hours only at Bedroom Express. The word that has everybody smiling is free. Free sales tax, free delivery, and free pillows. Plus, for 17 hours only, the Mattress Man has marked down all name brand mattresses, including every firmness and every size. Like this full-size pillow top set, only $262, or the full-size set, only $132. Plus, free sales tax, free delivery, and free pillows. 17 hours only, Saturday and Sunday, only at the home of Mattress Man and Bedroom Express.
Being a parent isn't easy, I know. Sometimes it can be the most difficult job you'll ever have. Because some days it's tempting to lash out at your kids with mean words that hurt and leave scars. If you're out of control, unable to talk to your child without screaming or using insults, please get help. Remember, asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. For more information on verbal abuse and how to avoid it, call the National Committee to Prevent Child Abuse.
Moms say they were tricked into smuggling drugs on the next Maury.
Situated on the banks of the Ohio River, you got a pretty good look at this great aerial view of Riverfront Stadium and downtown Cincinnati. And back inside we come as we move on to the top of the 4th inning. The Cubs with a 1-run lead, and hitting off John Roper, Glenn Allen Hill broke his bat, and he may be in line for another extra base hit.
Tell you
Two for two doubles.
Tell you one thing that's very misleading about Hill. You see the stature. This guy is big, wide, and strong. But he is so fast that to watch him every day, you just shake your head. He is the team's 2nd leading base stealer, 13, and has only been thrown out 3 times. He hits a ball on the left side of the infield. He'll beat out routine ground balls.
Well, he didn't have to worry about beating out a ground ball that time. He had a broken bat line drive hard enough to elude Tony Fernandez. His 2nd double of the night, and his Rick Wilkins, who followed Hill's 2nd inning leadoff double with one of his own to get the first Cubs run in. Saunders. Hill trying for 3rd, and he's in there standing.
That's a good job there by Wilkins. And I'm sure Tom Trebelhorn's going to be the first guy to greet him when he comes back into the dugout. You have to hit the ball to the right side when you have a runner at second base, and there you see it. His teammates certainly recognize it, along with the starter Mike Morgan.
Now, one of the basic tenets of being a successful pitcher is the ability to get first pitch strikes in. John Roper tonight, against 16 hitters, has gotten the first pitch in for a strike on 14 occasions. Yet he's trailing in this game, and the Cubs are threatening to get another one.
Excuse me, Dad. The infield's in for Bouchell.
That'll be deep enough to get Hill in, I would imagine. Brumfield sets up, and it's 3-1 Chicago. The Cubs doing everything right now. Right now we pause for our ABC stations to identify themselves. Chicago has added another run as they offer up congratulations to the man who scored the run, Glenn Allen Hill, and earlier the man who got it in, Steve Bouchell. It's 3-1 Cubs. Thom Ray Sanchez took over at second on the 14th of June with a shocking announcement that Ryne Sandberg was hanging him up. This guy's done a great job.
Tremendous job. Chuck Cottier, former major league infielder and the Cubs bench coach next to Tom Trebelhorn, has seen many infielders over the course of his playing days and his coaching days. Says Sanchez has the best pair of hands he's ever seen. And I would have to concur in the short time I've been broadcasting, the 5 years with the Cubs. It doesn't matter whether you play him at shortstop, play him at third base. Now he's at second every day. He is a spectacular defensive player and not a bad offensive player.
Defensively, then, he's a younger version of Tony Fernandez.
Oh, yeah. You know, the Cubs were kind of out of the norm all those years with Sandberg because you had a power hitting second baseman. Now they have to find another way to generate home run balls.
Good play by Barry Larkin. A long throw from deep in the hole to get Sanchez. But another scoring inning for the men of Tom Trebelhorn. A run, a hit. And after 3.5, the Cubs lead by a pair as Sanchez is thrown out to end the inning.
You beat it up, weigh it down, push it around, and it never asks for a day off. You expect that from a Chevy truck. And when it comes time to sell your Chevy, it'll keep on giving with the highest resale value of any full-size pickup. So you not only get more for your dollar, you get more back. From Chevrolet, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Every year, American business wastes millions of dollars on international calls by using the wrong long-distance company. Now you don't have to waste that money. Introducing MCI's Proof Positive Worldwide. Save up to 50% off typical international calls around the world. Call by September 30th and get 1 month of free long distance. Call MCI now and put your money back in your business.
January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. January, February, March, April, May, June, July.
Introducing the new Diet Coke can. It just might change your life forever.
January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December.
This is the game the world has been waiting for. Italy meets Brazil for soccer's ultimate prize. It's the World Cup Final live Sunday on ABC.
Coming up Monday, Baseball Night in America returns as the Cubs travel to Colorado to meet Andres Galarraga and the Rockies. Other viewers will see the Florida Marlins square off against the Reds or other regional action. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Monday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on ABC. The Reds are -1 starter, and that's Deion Sanders, seated in the dugout chatting with Lenny Harris. He has a bruised right heel that has kept him out but a couple of games in the last 2.5 weeks. He had a bone scan yesterday, which fortunately for Deion and the Reds proved to be negative, and chances are he will not play until they are absolutely certain that that heel is well enough to allow him to do the things that he was doing so dynamically. And there's one of them, leading this league in stolen bases. I talked to Deion before the game tonight, and the thing he's pointing for right now is that Houston series. It will begin at Riverfront Stadium a week from Monday night. That's the series that he wants to be 100% healthy for. But the Reds sorely miss him, and it's amazing in the relatively short period of time that he's been with his club how much they have come to rely on Deion Sanders. He's the kind of player who can simply flat out energize an entire ball club. Bouchell backs to get the good hop and flat-footed. He throws Mitchell out easily.
This is by far and away the best that Mike Morgan has thrown in about the last 3 or 4 weeks. A lot of ground balls. He's a sinker ball pitcher. And he's getting lots of Cincinnati Reds to drive it into the artificial turf so far here tonight.
Here's Reggie Saunders getting ready to bat for the second time. 0 for 1 tonight. After hitting into a force play in the first. And this is last night against Willie Banks, his second time up. It was a changeup in which he had to supply all the power, and he just made good contact. He didn't overswing, and you see where that ball hit. In the second row of seats in the upper deck, known obviously as the Red seats here at Riverfront. We mentioned earlier, only the 10th player in the 24-year history of this ballpark to do that, and the 16th ball that's been hit up there. There's the area in which the ball landed last night, obviously occupied by a bunch of folks tonight.
I was going to say, if you've never been to Riverfront, that shot right there gives you an idea. That is a bomb.
The interesting thing, and it's the same distance to right as it is to left, there have only been 3 balls hit into the upper deck of the Red seats in right field since this ballpark opened back in 1970. The only Red to do it, John Champ Summers, and a couple of guys by the names of Dave Parker and Darryl Strawberry.
Not bad players.
No. Taking a look at what's going on elsewhere in baseball night in America tonight.
There's another reason why there haven't been many hit into right, because there's this fellow named George Foster that used to play here in Cincinnati. He hit 6 into the Red seats during his Big Red Machine days.
That's going to be a base hit. With his speed and Morgan's inability to come up with the ball, it was good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Well, that's a do or die. Self-defense. You just hope you can knock that thing down before it drills you, and every now and then you'll come up lucky it'll land right in your mitt. And Saunders, a big-time threat on the bases. 18 steals. He's been thrown out 6 times, and if we have a full season, he's on his way to a 30-30 club membership. 30 homers, 30 stolen bases, of course, in the same season.
Well, you know all about that from last year.
Sammy Sosa.
Absolutely. Tony Fernandez trying to get himself back on the right track. There goes Reggie Saunders. Wilkins throw, not in time.
Well, there's nothing much Rick Wilkins can do about this. Wilkins has as fine an arm as any catcher in all of baseball, but Saunders a tremendous jump. You saw he had 4 or 5 steps before Wilkins ever caught the ball, and obviously no way to throw out a man who runs like Reggie Saunders, his 19th stolen base.
Well, most bases are stolen on the pitcher anyway, and that time that was the case.
Dad, I wonder what goes through the minds of some of the fans here in the stands when you look on the scoreboard and you see the name of Chris Sabo. He hit his 10th home run of the season tonight for Baltimore. They loved him here in Cincinnati.
They absolutely did. But the play of this man batting right now has tempered the dissatisfaction that created out of Chris Sabo's leaving this franchise. Tony Fernandez's play at third, and also his ability to swing the bat as you look at Reggie Saunders at second base. Cubs in front 3-1. Mike Morgan having a good time tonight as he pitches in the 4th inning with a 2-run lead. And he's a pitch away now from walking Fernandez. Saunders to third. Not this time. He did not get a good jump at all. And all Rick Wilkins had to do was get it down there accurately to Steve Bouchell, which he did.
Well, we talked about the arm of Wilkins, and you brought up the lack of a jump by Saunders. That combination makes for an easy out at third base. I kind of wonder why Saunders is running in that situation anyway.
Very poor judgment decision right there by Reggie Saunders. He stole his way into scoring position. A base hit scores him, and the Reds come up empty as Fernandez takes a third strike, and he's not happy about the call and lets Bruce Fleming know about it. That's one umpire that you don't want to incur his ire, and Tony Fernandez knows it better than anybody. Through 4, the Cubs by 2.
Imagine the feeling of running with the wind at your back. Moving effortlessly, in total control. And you never get tired. The all-new 1995 Monte Carlo. Your own personal space, designed for a very personal fit. The new Monte Carlo. Genuine Chevrolet.
Imagine. It's possible to change the way a car performs over time. With new Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium. For cars that can benefit from higher octane, a breakthrough in Texaco technology, an advanced system of engine cleaning. For higher performance, lower emissions, and improved mileage. New Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium from Texaco. Give us 60 days and watch what can happen.
Okay, race fans, the Brickyard 400 is coming August 6th, and there are 2 ways you can win. Number 1, become a NASCAR driver. Dedicate your life to speed, build a race car, get a fire suit, hire a pit crew, and master the sport in less than a month. Or number 2, play the Budweiser Pace Car Sweepstakes. Grab a Brickyard 400 handbook wherever you buy Budweiser. Kick back, watch the race, and you could win one of 4 Chevrolet Monte Carlo pace cars. So it's up to you. A life of torque and compression ratios, or a nice afternoon of racing with the king of beers.
Tire do you trust in the wet? A tire that removes over 2 gallons of water per second from under the tread. The all-season MX-4. Another engineering splash from Michelin. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
This fall, the adventure begins.
Watch out!
McKenna, coming soon to ABC.
After 4, the Cubs 3, the Reds 1, and it'll be pitcher against pitcher to begin this 5th inning. Mike Morgan will lead it off against John Roper.
Well, that's something you love to see if you're a general manager or a manager of any team. A veteran player talking to a younger player about perhaps a mental mistake. And the one thing about this Cincinnati club, Barry Larkin, the veteran, on the right, Reggie Saunders thrown out at third on the left. The one thing this Cincinnati team has above Houston, and whether it pays off at the end of the season or not, who knows, but 13 players on this Cincinnati team, 13, have appeared in postseason.
Well, that's something that I don't know anybody can factor the importance of. There are those who would subscribe to the theory when you talk about Montreal and you talk about Houston, Montreal in the National League East and Houston in the National League Central, that maybe one morning individually or collectively they wake up and realize, hey, we're on the verge of winning a divisional championship, and then funny things start to happen.
Oh yeah.
The experience factor certainly would bode well for Cincinnati, but we'll see how this whole thing plays itself out. And again, these 2 teams, talking about the Reds and the Cubs, hook up here at Riverfront a week from Monday night, and that's going to be a big series. Dunstan's 0 for 2 tonight, batting in the Chicago leadoff position.
Dunston has always batted down in the order, but then in 1992, before the back injury, they had him hitting leadoff. He was batting around 310, 315. They just put him back in there again recently, and the offense has taken off a bit.
Tommy, does he mind moving around in the batting order, or would he prefer to be in one spot?
He loves hitting leadoff.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Dunston. John Roper could well be in his final inning of work. He's due to bat third in the bottom of the inning. Now number 2.
You know, Dad, you see the Reds play every day. Has Davey Johnson changed maybe his style of managing from the old days with the New York Mets when thinking about lifting a guy like Roper, when he takes into account the offense of his Cincinnati team?
I don't think so. There are those who thought earlier that maybe he was being a bit overly protective of his starting pitchers and placing too much of a reliance on the bullpen. I think right now, I don't think, I know. Davey made the comment a week or so ago, I'd like to see once in a while one of the pitchers go 9 innings. Something that this team has had precious few of so far in this 94 year, and the bullpen has been an absolute salvation. This team has only 6 complete games all season long, so it's been a nightly ritual of going down to that bullpen. Now, if he opts to hit for John Roper in the bottom of the 5th inning, you're going to talk about a 5-inning stint for Roper tonight. He's only 2 runs down, assuming he can get through this inning. So unless the Reds really have something going, maybe he'll allow him to hit for himself. This is the first time tonight John Roper's been a 3-ball count on any Chicago hitter, and he walks Derek May. John Roper was a young man who last year, upon ascending to the big league club from Indianapolis, promptly went out in his first major league start and pitched 6 innings of 1-run baseball in beating the Colorado Rockies, after which he made the comment, "I've faced better AAA lineups." And shortly thereafter, the Reds rewarded that statement by a trip back to the minor leagues. John Roper, young then, young now, but much older now, in the sense that he has matured considerably in the last 12 months.
Yeah, I'd imagine there are a few major league hitters didn't take too kindly to that comment.
No, but the interesting thing is he came back later in the year and had another start against the Rockies, and everybody was talking about that good hitting Colorado club and what they were going to do to him. He beat him again. Brumfield tracking it. Grace is out, and so are the Cubs. No runs, no hits. They leave a man. The Reds will bat for the 5th time tonight off of Mike Morgan, trailing 3-1. Stay with us.
Once in a while, a breakthrough comes along, like a flat latex wall paint that holds up against stains. New Everclean, only from Sherwin-Williams. We'll take tough stains like grease, red wine, tea, grape juice, coffee, mustard, and let them set overnight. Everclean is the flat latex wall paint with a finish so smooth stains don't stick. Stains don't stand a chance with new Everclean. Sherwin-Williams.
Hard to tell. Could be any pickup. But how many compact pickups hold this much? Have a bed with 2-tier loading and a tailgate this easy to deal with. You could say it's the most intelligent pickup of its kind, except there doesn't appear to be another pickup of its kind. The Chevy S-Series, so new from the inside out. Everything else is history.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You know he's not perfect, but on certain days in his life, he has been. The night he poured in 63 points, the time he crushed 3 home runs in the World Series, the day he found Dwight Clark in the end zone. And you wish at some point, at some moment in your life, you could be that perfect too. And that's why you cheer for him. That's why you believe in heroes.
An elite group of golf's best tee off in the final round of their sports premier international event. From Turnberry in Scotland, it's the British Open tomorrow here on ABC.
Well, we move to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Reds trailing the Cubs here at Riverfront by a score of 3-1. Thom, I want to say it. We don't know how much time we'll have later on tonight. This is certainly the singular highlight of my major league broadcasting career.
I got news for you.
To work with you.
You're not the only one that feels that way. I can promise you.
We've come a long way together since that American Legion radio booth back in 1969. And we've come a long way since that picture was taken back in 1974, my first year with this club.
Yeah, in fact, you had that same sport coat on at dinner last night.
Along with the Bobby Goldsboro hairdo.
Amen to that. It's a little whiter now than it was back then.
I want to thank everybody who made this night possible. If it never happens again, it will truly be a memorable night.
Now, for
that
those of
picture
you,
was taken the same day, and you know who that young man is seated alongside you?
I sure do. Pete Rose Jr.
Absolutely.
Well, we had a lot of fun back here in the 1970s, I'll tell you. I know the players did because they beat everybody to death every night. But the kids were downstairs, and you know the story about many of them in the big leagues.
Tom, I've carried you halfway tonight. You got it the rest of the way.
Okay, big boy. Brett Boone, a bouncing ball to Bouchell to begin the bottom half of the fifth. Cubs are in front of the Reds by a count of 3-1. The Reds struck first in the first inning. An RBI single by Kevin Mitchell. The Cubs got a pair in the second inning. RBI double by Rick Wilkins and a ground ball out to drive in a run by Bouchell, and then Bouchell knocked in his second run of the game with a fly ball to center, scoring Glenn Allen Hill in the fourth. Meanwhile, Mike Morgan has been terrific.
Tom, here's a kid in Eddie Taubensee who the Reds acquired through trade with Houston back in April, and went from being the backup catcher to Brian Dorsett. By that time, Joe Oliver had gone down with an arthritic condition that's kept him out for the entire year, except for the early days of the year. Taubensee provided the backup, but has come so far since that April trade with Houston that it's now a straight platoon situation.
The 1-1 pitch is a little roller down the first base line. It's foul. Well, no one has come out of the Cincinnati dugout to the on-deck circle quite yet. We brought up earlier that John Roper is due to bat third in the inning. There's no activity in the Cincinnati bullpen, so obviously Davey Johnson will stay with John Roper.
Well, he's trailing 3-1, but he's kept his ball club in the game. The Reds only 2 runs down, and with the kind of offense that they normally generate, you don't know how this game's going to end, but certainly that's very reachable as far as this club is concerned.
In the air to shallow left. Dunston out, May in, and Derek will call him off and make the grab. 2 up, 2 down here in the Cincinnati fifth inning. Cubs are in front 3-1. They'll wind down this series here tomorrow afternoon. And then they'll get together again next weekend at Wrigley Field in Chicago for a 3-game series beginning on Friday. And I know many of you are wondering about the health of Harry Carey, the legendary Hall of Fame announcer out of WGN Chicago. And well, Harry Carey is doing quite well. He's out of the hospital after spending a couple of weeks there, and he'll be back with us on Friday night at Wrigley Field. And what a 7th inning stretch that is going to be.
I'm looking forward to it because the Reds provide the opposition next weekend.
And again, we run down some of the numbers around the major leagues, and there's strike 3 to Roper, which ends the inning. 3 strikeouts in the game for Mike Morgan. We have played 5 in Cincinnati, where the Cubs are in front of the first place Reds by a pair.
Ohio, Texas, parts from 237 suppliers in 31 states. They all come together right here in Georgetown, Kentucky, in the Toyota Camry. Built by Americans at a plant recently given the J.D. Power and Associates Gold Plant Quality Award for the 2nd consecutive year. With this kind of craftsmanship, all the pieces fit together beautifully. The 1994 Toyota Camry.
In honor of Sandlot players everywhere, Country Time and JCPenney would like to make an offer of major league significance. Now, in every canister of Country Time, you'll find a $5 certificate good toward baseball apparel for kids and adults at JCPenney. $5 off hats, t-shirts, and jerseys. So hurry in with your certificate. Because, like summer, this offer won't last forever.
Debbie, these shots are fabulous. Beautiful, Debbie.
Better than the last time, Tony?
Absolutely. It's my job to make sure people look good. A few weeks ago while doing test shots with Debbie, I noticed something. Dandruff. So I told her about Head & Shoulders. You see, regular shampoos merely rinse flakes away, so they could come back. But look, Head & Shoulders helps stop flakes from even forming. See the difference? Yeah, picture perfect. Head & Shoulders turns dandruff problems into beautiful hair.
St. Petersburg, Russia welcomes the world's finest athletes to one of the biggest international events of the year, the Goodwill Games. Coverage begins next Saturday here on ABC.
Well, you get a look at downtown Cincinnati along the banks of the Ohio River, and that's from the Kentucky side. The Bluegrass State, I know one of your favorite places, and right here in downtown Cincinnati, the first place Reds are trailing the Cubs by a count of 3-1 as we begin the 6th inning.
Baseball night in America, it's a lot of fun, huh?
Oh, yeah. Not bad at all. Sammy Sosa to lead it off against John Roper. He'll be followed by Glenn Allen Hill and then Rick Wilkins. Sammy is 0 for 2. He's flied to right and bounced into a double play. We brought up earlier Sosa became the first Cub player in history to record a 30 home run, 30 stolen base campaign. On the ground at Larkin. 1 out.
Hey, keeping an eye on Barry Larkin tonight, Tom. Barry is having some elbow problems. A few years ago, he suffered an ulnar nerve problem in that special competition prior to an all-star game, and it's reared its ugly head again. They put him on a stronger dosage of cortisone, which he started taking yesterday, but periodically he'll make a throw. We've not seen evidence of it tonight, and he'll immediately tuck that elbow into his side. It really causes him some problems at times.
Hill looks at a ball. He's had a big night. 2 out of 2, a pair of doubles, a pair of runs scored. Yeah, in fact, that elbow problem kept Barry Larkin from playing in the All-Star game last Tuesday. That ball way back into left field. And Glenn Allen Hill is homered for the 8th time this season. And the Cubs have their largest lead. It's 4-1.
We get a chance to watch this again, and it goes back to talking about Reggie Sanders' red seat home run last night and how he did not overswing. He just had a good fluid swing and made good contact, and you're going to see the same type of thing, and this ball will absolutely jump off of Glenn Allen Hill's bat and reach deep into the green and left. Watch this swing. Just a nice fluid swing. Didn't overswing, and that ball went for a piece.
Well, Glenn Allen Hill electrified fans at Wrigley Field last season after the trade. When he came over from Cleveland in 31 games, he clubbed 10 home runs. He had only hit 5 to that point all year long with the Indians. And he is some kind of strong. 3 out of 3 tonight. 3 runs scored, a pair of doubles, and a homer.
We have often referred to Deion Sanders as a baseball player with a football player's mentality. Does Rick Wilkins qualify in that same mode?
Oh, yeah. Former linebacker at Furman University. 3-1 now on Wilkins. Cubs in front 4-1 here in the top of the 6th inning. And they have scored 4 unanswered runs after the Reds took a 1-0 advantage after the first inning of play.
Now, the big story tonight has been Glenn Allen Hill, 2 doubles and a home run. He's had a sensational night against John Roper.
Wilkins out of there swinging. That is his 2nd strikeout of the game for the Reds rookie right-hander. 2 down in the inning, and Steve Bouchell is coming up. Bouchell has also had a good night. 0 for 1, but he's knocked in a pair of runs. Cincinnati has dominated the seasonal series. They've won 7 of the 9 games. They have tonight, tomorrow, and then 3 next weekend in Chicago, and then that's it. Well, I don't like this balanced schedule.
Oh, I think it's the worst. I mean, I love the 3 divisional alignment. I know that there have been those who have severely criticized baseball for going to it, but I agree with the premise that it extends interest in cities in the month of September that might otherwise turn their attentions to high school, college, or pro football. But the balanced schedule simply doesn't get it now that they've gone to 3 divisions. There's another one.
Way back into left field. Mitchell looks up. Goodbye. 3rd RBI of the game for Steve Bouchell. And the Cubs now lead Cincinnati 5-1. Cubs are flexing their muscles here tonight against John Roper.
Tommy, John Roper had given up 8 home runs all year as you look at the Bouchell swing again. And that's in 64 1/3 innings. He has given up 2 home runs in this 1 inning alone.
Of the 8 hits for the Cubs tonight, 6 of them have been for extra bases.
This may well go down only because of the 2 home runs hit in this inning as the second worst start that John Roper's had in the 11 trips he's made to the mound this season.
Sanchez, a ground ball, which ends the inning, but not before the Cubs strike for 2 on home runs from Glenn Allen Hill and Steve Bouchell. Cubs will go out defensively as we head for the bottom of the 6th with a 5-1 lead.
Budweiser welcomes you to the Voodoo Lounge. The Rolling Stones Voodoo Lounge Tour, live. Only one band is rock and roll, and only one beer can bring it to you. Budweiser, king of beers.
Besides being an educator, Jim Elkins is a collector of antiques and an occasional Montana trout. Having owned a dozen Toyota cars, Jim naturally made the T100 his first Toyota truck. Your typical big truck owner? No. But then the T100 is not your typical truck. Observe the Detroit Free Press. The cabin reminds one of the Toyota Camry in equipment and comfort. The Toyota T100 puts you in a whole new class.
3-2 pitch to Griffey.
Ooh. My, oh my!
It's a chater.
It's a dinger. It's out of here. It'll fly away.
It's back.
Going.
Going good. On a 400-foot ride.
Into the next county. Raise the window, Aunt Minnie. Here it comes.
Kiss that one goodbye.
So long.
Farewell.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Good night.
Sayonara, baby. Goodbye, Mr. Rawlings.
That ball ain't coming back.
And Griffey will touch them all. Holy cow!
These are teachers, but to the kids they've reached, they're heroes. Be a teacher. Be a hero. Call 1-800-45-TEACH.
Five-1 ball game. The Cubs in front of the Reds. Left-hander Tim Fortuno beginning to get loose in the Cincinnati bullpen. John Roper has allowed 5 runs in 6 innings. Well, how about that?
That's awfully nice.
Oh, that is.
Our thanks to those folks who took the time to work that up and bring it to the ballpark tonight. It's awfully nice.
You didn't think they know they'd get on TV by making that as well, do you?
I think they felt like there was a chance. Are they friends of yours?
I don't know.
That's not some of that bunch from Ohio University that you cavorted with, is it?
It very well could be. But chances are, after being there, I might not remember. It'll be the top of the Reds batting order against Mike Morgan. Morgan has only allowed the 1 run on 4 Cincinnati hits. And again, this is the best offensive team in the entire National League. There we go.
Speaking of Ohio University, and getting back to, we'll thank those folks too. They may well be from Athens or somewhere in that general area. Let's get back to that point you made a moment ago. You mean I paid tuition for 4 years and your recollections are dim about the time you spent in Athens, Ohio?
Well, knowing your track record, you wouldn't have it any other way. That one smoked down the left field line. Brumfield on his way to second. The ball getting away from May, but Brumfield will hold right there with a leadoff double. No matter what kind of lead you build against Cincinnati, it never feels all that safe. Baseball Night in America is brought to you by Toyota, who invites you to check out their full line of quality trucks. You just gotta love them. And Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youths. And Budweiser Beechwood Age for a crisp, clean, classic taste. Third time Brumfield has been aboard. Larkin 0 for 2, the batter. Strike 1.
How would this performance rate up there with the others that Mike Morgan has turned in this season?
It might be his best. I know we're only in the bottom of the 6th inning, but the only other game that comes to mind was a 6-inning stint allowing 2 runs against Florida.
That was his only win to date, right?
Yep. But the difference between that game and this game is Morgan walked 4 then. He has only walked 1 here tonight. And we brought up earlier, control, you know, pretty much early on. If Morgan has it, he is mighty tough to beat. Larkin, the 6-time National League All-Star, down 0-2.
Tom, I know when the Cubs signed Mike Morgan, it seemed to be a marriage made in heaven, a sinker ball pitcher at Wrigley Field in Chicago. But when he's pitching the way he's pitching tonight, it doesn't make any difference. Natural grass, artificial surface, he can be awfully tough.
Oh, yeah. The 1-2 to Larkin. Missed outside. Well, you're getting ready to go into the heart and soul of this Cincinnati batting order with Larkin, Morris, Mitchell, Saunders. As you see Brumfield at second. There's the man with 69 runs batted in this season, Hal Morris. The 2-2. And he fouled it back.
I think Barry a little bit upset with himself. He didn't get that pitch. He had a grimace on his face, and I know the grimace wasn't from pain generated by that swing with the elbow. He never has any problem with that elbow when he swings a bat. I think he'd like to have that pitch back again.
Well, for those in the American League cities that don't get a chance to see Larkin play all that much, he is some kind of performer. Hit into left field. May makes the grab. Brumfield's coming to third, and he'll make it. 1 down in the inning. And Jacob Brumfield 90 feet away from the second Reds run.
Well, there's activity in the Cincinnati bullpen, and it looks like now Tom Trebelhorn has made the decision to get a pitcher up in the Chicago bullpen. Is that Jose Bautista loosening up for Chicago? And for Cincinnati, you got an earlier shot of the left-hander down there in Tim Fortuno. I think we can pretty well say goodbye for the rest of the night as far as John Roper is concerned. There's Fortuno, the lefty.
Hal Morris looks at a ball. Morris is struck out and grounded to second base. Cubs are in front 5-1. 1 down, runner at third. We're in the last of the 6th. A ball, a strike. Hal Morris, a native of Munster, Indiana. He used to jump on the train and visit Wrigley Field in Chicago growing up as a kid.
You sure he didn't go to the White Sox games?
Not a chance.
I just wondered. Be careful the way you talk to your old man now. Be careful.
Doesn't matter how old you get, does it? Never too old for a good tongue lashing. Here's a 1-2. And Morris went after a bad pitch, strike 3. Wilkins will have to throw down, and he gets the out there. A good play made by Mark Grace.
I'll tell you, Mike Morgan is flat worn out Hal Morris tonight. He has Hal so confused about what to look for as you see Hal take a weak hack and, as Thom said, a bad ball. Rarely will Morris strike out on bad balls. More often than not, it'll be with a left-hander on the mound, not a right-hander, and Morgan's just tied him up in knots tonight.
Well, the only Red to knock in a run against Mike Morgan tonight settles in. Kevin Mitchell. He had that single to center scoring Brumfield in the opening inning. But Morgan has allowed nary a run ever since. 2 down, runner at third. And a strike to Mitchell.
He's been either 1 or 2 all year long in that department. Jeff Bagwell recently went by him. Kevin Mitchell, Tom, and I've told people the first thing people think of when they think Kevin Mitchell is power. Kevin Mitchell is a good hitter who just happens to hit for power. And there is a marked difference.
Runner at third, 2 down. The 1-1 to Mitchell is a fast strike.
And Kevin not happy about letting that pitch go by. He just kicked at the dirt when Bruce Fremming raised that right hand signifying strike.
Cubs 5, Reds 1, bottom of the 6th inning.
Watch Mitchell. There it is. Not happy. Throw it to me again, Mike, he's saying.
2-2. He tried the breaking ball that time.
That's a question about Mike Morgan now, Tommy, his stamina. How long can they expect him to go?
Well, he's gone 6 a couple of times, but he's not pitched into the 7th. A drive into right field. Sosa has room, and the inning is over. 1 hit, 1 man left. So Morgan wiggles off the hook and leaves a man at third. It's a 5-1 Cub lead. Baseball Night in America will return after these messages from your local station.
Country legends Charlie Daniels and Charlie Pride, plus Mark Chestnut and Martina McBride. Billy Dean hosts ABC In Concert Country later tonight.
Once I'm in here, I just can't stop. I love putting together different Mexican tastes. Like my ultimate combos, chicken burritos, cheesy enchiladas. 4 combinations, each just $7.99 every day. But do I stop? No, I can't. To really make them the ultimate, I get free fried ice cream with every one, every day. Now I really can't stop.
The new ultimate combos at Chi-Chi's with free fried ice cream.
Every day.
I'm a little more casual today because after this exciting announcement, I'll need to move fast. S&K's summer clearance sale is going on now.
Every sport coat, including Pure Silks, on sale, starting at $89.97. Every single suit in the store is on sale. We're clearing out dress shirts, ties, plus summer sportswear from $12.97.
S&K's summer clearance sale. Come early and beat the rush.
Shop S&K Menswear in Regency Center.
Hello, I'm John Lindgren of News Channel 36, inviting you to join us for a very special education project. Children First is a campaign with 2 goals. One goal encourages adults to help children reach their full potential. The second goal encourages children to never stop learning. In the coming months, we'll be examining important issues that shape the lives of children. We hope you'll join us as News Channel 36 puts children first.
From 2 to 92, Kentuckians of all ages are invited to get off the couch and get in the games. If you are an amateur athlete, start your training and get your entry in now for the 10th Annual Bluegrass State Games. The games will be held July 29th, 30th, and 31st in Lexington. There are 25 sports to choose from, so you need to be there and be a part of the action. For an entry booklet, call 1-800-722-BGSG and...
We're talking baseball with Tommy Lasorda, Monday on Live.
Well, we open the top half of the 7th inning with the Cubs in front of Cincinnati by a count of 5-1. And the new left-hander is Tim Fortuno. Fortuno appearing in his 20th game. You see the numbers, a fine 2.42 ERA. He's been a nice pickup.
Tom, he's done a great job. He was signed originally as a free agent by the Reds AA Chattanooga Ball Club simply because they had no room on the AAA pitching staff for him at Indianapolis. And when he came up, he was told when he joined the club in San Francisco that he was only going to be up for a few days before being sent back either to Chattanooga or Indy. They didn't know at the time, and lo and behold, over 2 months later, he's still here.
Cubs staying with Mike Morgan, who over the 6 innings has only allowed the 1 run on 5 base hits, and this is his most impressive outing thus far this season. On the ground, Morris will feed Fortuno. 1 away.
Tim Fortuno is a young man who at one time pitched in the big leagues with the California Angels. In fact, 2 years ago with the Angels, he made 14 appearances, 5 starts. He had 1 complete game, and that was a shutout. A 9-0 shutout victory in his second start against the Detroit Tigers, in which he struck out 12 and allowed but 3 hits. He's a young man who has bounced around. I say young, he's 32 years old, so he's certainly not a baby, but he has an idea of what he's doing out there. He accepts whatever fate might bestow upon him. When he came up, he was very philosophical about the chance that he may be up for only a few days, and as I said, he has been a real plus coming out of that bullpen.
Sean Dunston, the hitter, 0 for 3. He has struck out and then played pepper twice with Barry Larkin, the Red shortstop. Dunston playing in his 999th major league game. That's hanging around for a while.
Yeah, it is.
Long drive way back. If it's fair, it's gone. And that is a home run for Dunston. The third of the game by the Cubs. Dunston's 10th. And now a 6-1 Chicago advantage.
If I didn't know better, I think I was watching the Cincinnati Reds in Chicago uniforms.
Well, here's the MCI proof positive replay. We'll get it right. And again, Dunston just homering down the left field line into the green seats about halfway up.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, the Cubs have hit 3 balls out of here tonight, and none of them have been cheap home runs. I mean, they have all been rather impressive. And that long ball gets Cincinnati's bullpen working again.
Derek May looks at a strike. He's down to Fortuno at 0-2. May has bounced to third, doubled, and drawn a walk.
Former Seattle Mariner right-hander Rich DeLucia.
Broken bat pop-up. Brett Boone has to play it off the bounce. And Derek May, not really hustling up the line, is thrown out at first. If May runs it out right from the start, he has a chance to beat this ball out.
No question.
It'll be interesting to see if Thom Treblehorn has anything to say to him when he gets back to the dugout.
Now keep an eye on Derek May now and see if anybody says anything at all to him. Head hung, and he knows. A little bit hot. Defense is the best offense.
Mark Grace takes high for a ball. Grace is singled twice in 3 at-bats. And you see May kind of lazily trotting up the line, not even looking at Boone. And he's out by 10 feet.
There's another rocket.
Brumfield on the run. He won't get it. And Grace into second base with his 3rd hit of the night. So the Cubs with 3 home runs. And now their 5th double. And again, some of the other scores around the major leagues tonight. And here comes Reds manager Davey Johnson. Johnson has signaled for the right-hander Rich DeLucia. The Cubs have scored a run here in the 7th inning, and they own a 6-1 lead. So we'll step aside after the pitching change and be back right after this. Well, we welcome you back to Baseball Night in America. We're at Riverfront Stadium. It is a 6-1 Cub lead over the Reds. And we'll tell you about the new pitcher right after this.
How long will it take you to save up the necessary down payment to lease a Lexus LS? That should do it. Introducing the LS Custom Tailored Lease. 0 down and $5.99 per month for 36 months. 0 in on an LS at your Lexus dealer today.
Ooh-wee, that's a hot one. That's a 1 can.
That's definitely a 1 can.
This one's a killer.
Oh, man, that's hot. That's a 2 canner.
That's a definite 2 canner.
My, that's a hot dish. That's a 2-liter bottle.
That's a full 2-liter bottle.
Look like somebody ordered the special.
A simple verse for a simple sale this week at Goodyear on these selected Goodyear tires for cars and light trucks. Buy 3 at regular price, 4th one's free. Isn't that swell? Swell?
A reminder from MetLife. It's a good idea to have your eyes examined every 2 years. For more facts, call for your free MetLife Vision Care booklet.
Thinking of getting high? You better know what you're jumping into.
We're back at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. I'm Thom Brennaman along with Dad, Marty Brennaman, where the Cubs are in front of the Reds 6-1, and now Rich DeLucia takes over to face Sammy Sosa. 2 down here in the inning, 1 run in, and Mark Grace at second base. Sammy Sosa looks at ball 1.
Tom, Rich DeLucia, another guy that the Reds signed as a free agent. He was signed by Indianapolis, a AAA contract, and did a great job with Indianapolis. Got the call up. Has been a starter. His best year in the big leagues was as a starter with the Seattle Mariners, pitching in long relief, obviously now with the Reds.
1-1 on Sosa, who's had a quiet night despite the fact that the Cubs have 10 hits and 6 runs. Sammy's 0 for 3.
1991, DeLucia 12-13 with the Seattle Mariners. Made 32 appearances that year. 31 of them were starts.
The 1-1, and he threw it by him.
And all he's doing right now is challenging Sammy Sosa.
I would think long and hard about trying that again.
Well, he's 2 for 2.
Well, he ain't coming with a heat again.
Are we talking Thom here?
Thom, as they call him in Chicago. Just simply Thom. Low and in that time. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now let's see if he comes back with a gas this time.
Well, Sosa has been a red-hot Cub hitter over the last month, hitting almost 360. And we mentioned earlier 20 home runs and a team best 52 knocked in. Race a runner at second, 2 men out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And he fouled it on a play. And again, he came with a hard stuff. The Reds come into play tonight leading second place Houston by 3.5. And really everybody else pretty much falls off the table thereafter. The Pirates and Cardinals 9.5 back. And the Cubs 15.5 behind. Broken bat pop-up. Boone will handle it, and that'll end the inning. But not before the Cubs get one more run, a couple of hits. They leave a man on base. And we head for the 7th inning stretch in Cincinnati. The Cubs lead by 5.
There's something that can change the way a car performs over time. It's a true breakthrough in Texaco technology in every octane grade. An advanced system of engine cleaning for higher performance, lower emissions, and improved mileage. New Clean System 3 gasoline from Texaco. Give us 60 days and watch what can happen.
Introducing one of the most visually distinct automobiles you've ever seen, and the most technologically advanced Celica Toyota has ever created. The all-new Toyota Celica, with sophisticated safety systems, available ABS, standard driver and passenger side airbags. But despite all this technology, when people see the new Celica, there's only one thing that keeps coming to mind. Watch out, it's here.
In honor of Sandlot players everywhere, Country Time and JCPenney would like to make an offer of major league significance. Now, in every canister of Country Time, you'll find a $5 certificate good toward baseball apparel for kids and adults at JCPenney. $5 off hats, t-shirts, and jerseys. So hurry in with your certificate. Because, like summer, this offer won't last forever.
This is the game the world has been waiting for. Italy meets Brazil for soccer's ultimate prize. It's the World Cup Final live Sunday on ABC.
Well, we head for the last of the 7th inning at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, where the Cubs are in front of the Reds by a count of 6-1. See the Cubs with 10 hits. They've hit 3 home runs. They have 5 doubles. And Mike Morgan has certainly been the story in the mind of Thom Trebelhorn. Tell you what, Dad, he has pitched one fine ball game thus far here tonight.
I guess the question that begs to be asked right now, he's got a comfortable 5-run lead, but is Thom Trebelhorn rolling the dice by running him back out there again? You see him talking with coaches, bench coach Chuck Cottier.
Well, I think if Morgan shows any sign of fatigue, the first case of trouble, they'll have that bullpen ready in a hurry. And it's so warm and muggy here in Cincinnati tonight. Jose Batista was up a bit earlier. They'll probably get him started again. And there's strike one to Reggie Saunders.
Tom, that was Mike Morgan's 75th pitch of the night, and that's not a bad number at all pitching into the 7th inning.
1-1 on Saunders, who has bounced into a fielder's choice, singled, stole a base, and was thrown out stealing. See the Tigers, they went to town on Kansas City pitching last night.
Warmed up on them.
Oh yeah, and they'll do that to you.
Yeah, they will.
Your old buddy from the Big Red Machine days, Sparky Anderson.
George Lee. Thank God his managerial career has been better than his playing career was.
Yeah. And he can appreciate that.
Yes, he can. Absolutely.
2-2 now on Saunders. He'll be followed by Tony Fernandez and Brett Boone. This high-octane Cincinnati offense has been stalled here tonight by Cub right-hander Mike Morgan. The 2-2 pitch in the air and playable for Dunston. One away.
Tom, I'll tell you, Mike Morgan pitched Reggie Saunders right there exactly the way most pitchers want to work to him, and that is throwing hard stuff in. Reggie, an outstanding off-speed hitter, and Morgan got that pitch in hard, and the resulting pop-up to shortstop was the end result.
Tony Fernandez is grounded to short and struck out. Outfield and infield straight away as Fernandez backs off. Get a look at the Cubs defensively. So a huge crowd here at Riverfront Stadium. Certainly disappointed with the way things have gone so far. Their team trailing by 5.
And made quiet because of the man in the middle of the arena, Mike Morgan.
More activity in the Cincinnati bullpen. Young right-hander Johnny Ruffin. Boy, they like his future. One and one on Fernandez.
You might have noticed from time to time tonight that patch above the left breast on each of the Reds uniform shirts. That's, of course, saluting the 125th year of professional baseball, and that patch on the Reds uniform is a team picture of the 1869 Cincinnati Red Stockings, led by one of the great shortstops of all time, George Wright. George and Harry Wright were brothers on that team, and they were outstanding players.
Fouled away by Fernandez. Count of 2-2.
That's a team that in its initial year of play, as we mentioned at the top of our telecast tonight, went undefeated.
It's not a bad year.
No. I think they were 79-0 that year.
Matter of fact, that's real good. The 2-2 to Tony Fernandez. Misses high and away, so maybe Morgan, after falling behind Saunders, falling behind Fernandez, is beginning to tire, but you see the concentration as he deals, and it's fouled away. And again, if you weren't with us earlier, it's been a very difficult year for Mike Morgan. He found out in spring training his mother came away with cancer. She's doing well right now. His father had a brain aneurysm, and then his wife ran into health problems about a month and a half ago. So on the ground to Sanchez. 2 away in the Cincinnati 7th.
That's the 9th ground out tonight that Mike Morgan has gotten, Tom.
Now it'll be Brett Boone with the bases empty and 2 men out. Cubs leading 6-1. We're in the bottom of the 7th. We pause for our ABC stations to identify themselves.
News Channel 36, WTVQ-TV, Lexington.
Boone hammers one down the right field line. Sosa over to cut it off. He'll challenge the arm, and the throw is offline. So Brett Boone is second hit. It's a 2-out double.
That is only the 6th hit the Reds have had all night long off Mike Morgan. And with a double coming with 2 outs here in the 7th inning, immediately the Cub bullpen fires will start to burn again. Right there for him. And Boone inside out of that rascal and sent it down into the right field corner for a 2-base hit.
Sosa has a wonderful arm, but by the time he righted the ship down that way, Boone easily at second as Batista throws again in the bullpen. Eddie Taubens, he takes ball 1.
Now, come from behind wins have been something of a specialty for the Cincinnati team. Among their 52 wins this year, 53 wins, I should say, 27 have been come from behind wins, but 5 runs, too much of a deficit to overcome. Might be tonight.
Well, you have the one big factor down in that Cub bullpen. As rough and tough as things have been this season.
Are we speaking Randall Kirk Myers?
Indeed we are. A National League record 53 saves for Randy Myers a year ago.
We know something about him.
2-1 on Taubens. And you can bet the ranch that Randy Myers is beginning to go through his late inning routine somewhere back in that Cub clubhouse. He is some kind of interesting guy, Randy Myers. 3 balls and a strike. Thomas Howard, a switch hitting outfielder, has moved to the on deck circle. He would bat for Rich DeLucia.
Does that late inning routine in the clubhouse have anything to do with first somebody waking him up?
There's a strong chance of that. You won't find him on that bench right now. That's a promise. In the air to left field, hit pretty well. Derek May at the wall will make the grab. That'll end the inning. So Morgan survives the 7th. He allows 1 hit. The Reds leave a man. We go to the 8th in Cincinnati. The Cubs in front, 6-1.
European luxury car owners are good sports about the high cost of owning their cars. To them, it's just water over the dam. The Lexus LS, however, is projected to cost an average of $14,000 less over 5 years than most European competitors in its class. Compared to them, the cost of owning an LS is just a drop in the bucket.
3-2 pitch to Griffey. Ooh. My, oh my! It's a chater. It's a dinger. It's out of here. It'll fly away. It's back. Going, gone. On a 400-foot ride. Into the next county. Raise the window, Aunt Minnie. Here it comes. Kiss that one goodbye. So long. Farewell. Out Peters. Good night. Sayonara, baby. Goodbye, Mr. Rawlings. That ball ain't coming back. And Griffey will touch them all. Holy cow!
When you come to TGI Fridays, it's gonna be great. Why? Well, watch while we point out the extraordinary things Fridays does to guarantee a great meal. This, you see, is our passion, because at TGI Fridays, we're driven, compulsively preoccupied with the notion that we have to do whatever it takes, every day, every time, so that at TGI Fridays, it's gonna be great, guaranteed.
From Gillette comes a uniquely different form of protection for men. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. Unlike a stick that can stay in your underarm hair, this is a soft gel. It goes cleanly through the hair right down to the skin surface to fight odor and wetness where it begins. And that means powerful all-day protection. The revolutionary Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant.
Some things are worth dying for.
People down here feel some things are worth killing for.
Gene Hackman, Willem Dafoe, Mississippi Burning, Sunday on ABC. Parental discretion advised.
Back in Cincinnati, along with Marty Brennaman, I'm Thom Brennaman. The Cubs are in front 6-1 as we open the top of the 8th inning. DeLucia still on the mound for the Reds. And here's the man of the night for the Cubs, Glenn Allen Hill.
Has beat up on the Reds like a circus monkey. That's big time.
Hill, a pair of doubles and a home run. He has scored 3 times. Glenn Allen Hill has always had the reputation, for whatever reason, of being not a real good guy to have on a team. But the Cubs have come to find out that that is clearly not the case. In fact, the direct opposite of that. And when you ask Hill about it, he'll talk openly, honestly. Said all I've ever wanted to do was play. And whether it be in Toronto or later Cleveland, he was never given that chance. And
certainly getting it now.
Yeah, you can't blame a guy for wanting to play.
No, absolutely not.
Because there are a lot of them out there that have a chance to play every day, and they don't always want to
play every day.
Right.
You got it.
The 0-2 to Glenn Allen Hill. And it's a little low.
Thom, talking about Glenn Allen Hill and the position that he has to play. In all fairness to him and this ball club, this team really does not have a true center fielder.
Nope. Haven't had one since Jerome Walton when he won the Rookie of the Year award in 1989. Strangely enough, Walton now a Cincinnati Red.
Currently on the disabled list, but could very well be coming off soon, and a young man who again has helped to give this club what may well be the best bench in the National League.
The 2-2 to Glenn Allen Hill is fouled away. These two teams will wind down the 4-game weekend series tomorrow afternoon. Eric Hansen, a longtime Seattle Mariner, starts it for Cincinnati. And on the Reds, on the mound for the Cubs, it'll be Kevin Foster. And Foster has been a wonderful story. Strike 3 to Glenn Allen Hill. He didn't think so. Well, now it's time to test your wisdom, Martin Brennaman.
Go for it.
In our Toyota Diamond Dust baseball fact, who is the only pitcher to win the Cy Young and the MVP in the same season without being selected to his league's All-Star team. Now, there have been 9 of those pitchers who have won Cy Young and MVPs, but only one did not make the Midsummer Classic.
I know the answer to that question.
I do too, because somebody
I've
gave
seen
it to
the
me.
answer.
Yes.
But we'll save the answer for the next half inning.
In the air to deep right center field. This might be another Cub home run. It is. 4th home run of the game for the Cubs. For Wilkins, his 5th this season. And the lead extends to 7-1 Chicago.
Thom, when Rich DeLucia pitches, I'm often reminded of what Joe Morgan said way back in the 70s when he was such a major part of the Big Red Machine. He said, over in this league, meaning the National League, they can't throw it hard enough to consistently throw it by the hitters in this league. Rich DeLucia is a pitcher who will challenge hitters repeatedly. That is the 4th home run he has given up in 8 1/3 innings this season. He tries to challenge him, and in this league, as Joe Morgan said many years ago, you can't repeatedly do it and get away with it.
Wilkins nailed that pitch. And we brought up earlier that it was only his 5th home run this season after hitting 30 a year ago. So the left-handed batters that Tom Troublehorn continues to talk about, needing them to produce, have done the job here tonight. Grace with 3 hits. Derek May with a hit. And Wilkins 2 hits, 2 scored, 2 batted in.
The Chicagos are putting on a pretty good show here.
Not bad. Bouchell hit a home run his last time up. He's 1 of 2, but has knocked in 3 runs in the game. Bouchell, a graduate of Stanford University, where he roomed with Denver Bronco quarterback John Elway, and the two are best of friends even now.
Steve's wife expecting any time now, right?
Yeah, their third child. Wonderful family, and Steve Bouchell, one of the real good guys in the game of baseball. Boone makes a grab on the soft liner for the second out of the inning.
I'll never forget back in the mid-'80s, a fellow by the name of Buddy Bell was traded to the Cincinnati Reds from the Texas Rangers because that organization had made the determination that they were going to give a young guy by the name of Steve Bouchell a chance to play third base every day. There's a great opportunity for the Reds to get Buddy Bell here.
Yeah, he left Texas. Bouchell was traded to the Pirates and then came to Chicago a year and a half ago in the Danny Jackson trade. In the air to Reggie Saunders, and the inning is over, but the Cubs another run on another home run, their fourth of the game. We head for the bottom of the eighth. Cubs 7 and Cincinnati 1.
How long will it take you to save up the necessary down payment to lease a Lexus LS? That should do it. Introducing the LS Custom Tailored Lease. 0 down and $5.99 per month for 36 months. 0 in on an LS at your Lexus dealer today.
Ooh-wee, that's a hot one. That's a 1 can.
That's definitely a 1 can.
This one's a killer.
Oh, man, that's hot. That's a 2 canner.
That's a definite 2 canner.
My, that's a hot dish. That's a 2-liter bottle.
That's a full 2-liter bottle.
Look like somebody ordered the special.
A simple verse for a simple sale this week at Goodyear on these selected Goodyear tires for cars and light trucks. Buy 3 at regular price, 4th one's free. Isn't that swell? Swell?
A reminder from MetLife. It's a good idea to have your eyes examined every 2 years. For more facts, call for your free MetLife Vision Care booklet.
Thinking of getting high? You better know what you're jumping into.
7 runs, 11 hits, no errors. The Cubs have left 4 on base. Cincinnati has been limited to 1 run on 6 hits by Mike Morgan, and they really haven't posed many threats against him. The Reds have only stranded 4. Lenny Harris will be the pinch hitter, batting for Rich DeLucia. Harris, part of that fine Cincinnati bench, Dad, you brought up earlier.
Tom, he's done a great job for this team. He was originally in the Reds organization, traded to the Dodgers, came back after the Reds signed him as a free agent following the '93 season. And Lenny has been the best pinch hitter on this club. He's been a spot starter basically at third base. He's even played some of the outfield, and he's done a great job.
1-1 to Lenny Harris. Hitting .321 without a homer, 11 batted in, 9 of 33 off the Cincinnati bench. He'll be followed by Brumfield and Barry Larkin.
We talked about the crowd here tonight, and the numbers: 44,271 tickets were sold for this Titanic struggle. 44,271. And I think all of them are here.
Oh, yeah. One of the great baseball towns in all of America. Certainly by no means the largest city in all the major leagues.
Second smallest market in the big leagues.
But they turn up in huge numbers. 2-2 to Harris. And a full count.
Thom, again, talking about signing Lenny Harris, and I've said it, and I firmly believe it. If the Reds win the Central Division, Reds general manager Jim Bowden should be National League Executive of the Year.
Lined into right. Sosa nearly misplayed it, but able to hang on for the first out of the inning. And you glance up to see that Houston in front of the Pirates tonight, 4-1. Well, here's tonight's Toyota Diamond Dust answer. And Don Newcomb of the Brooklyn Dodgers won the Cy Young, won the MVP, but didn't make the All-Star team. And I'm sure he could have cared less.
I'll tell you one thing about Don Newcomb, that those words up there don't reflect one of the all-time great hitting pitchers in Major League Baseball history. A guy still affiliated with the Dodger organization. We have the opportunity of seeing him when we go to Los Angeles, and a class act, Don Newcomb.
Again in the air to Sosa. This one an easier try, and Brumfield retired, 2 down.
And going back to the point I was making a moment ago, Jim Bowden has really not made a bad move when you consider that when he realized that he wasn't going to have Rob Dibble, he restructured his entire bullpen, bringing in people like Jeff Brantley and, of course, Chuck McElroy, the former Cub, bringing a kid up in Hector Carrasco, who had never pitched above Class A in his career, and all the rest of the moves. Jim Bowden has done an amazing job for this ball club.
2 down for Larkin, nobody on, and Morgan deals strike 1. Mike Morgan in command here tonight. Bouncing ball up through the middle. Sanchez is there. And a perfect inning for Mike Morgan. Only his second 1-2-3 inning of the game. But don't tell the Reds batters that. He's handcuffed them all night.
I've been impressed.
7-1 Cubs as we go to the ninth.
Every year, American business wastes millions of dollars on international calls by using the wrong long-distance company. Now you don't have to waste that money. Introducing MCI's Proof Positive Worldwide. Save up to 50% off typical international calls around the world. Call by September 30th and get 1 month of free long distance. Call MCI now and put your money back in your business.
In honor of Sandlot players everywhere, Country Time and JCPenney would like to make an offer of Major League significance. Now, in every canister of Country Time, you'll find a $5 certificate good toward baseball apparel for kids and adults at JCPenney. $5 off hats, t-shirts, and jerseys. So hurry in with your certificate. Because, like summer, this offer won't last forever.
What's up, Chief? Yeah. The first time I came here, I was like, man, it's not really fair. And when you think about the problems that these kids have, your problems don't look all that big.
Hope you're feeling better, sweetheart.
It helps me be a better ball player. You got to get out to the game, man, when you're feeling better. I can go out and say, hey, this is for these kids. I'm out there playing not just for myself, but for them. Because, you know, if I was hitting 200 or stuff, they'd probably be like, who's this guy? You know, get him out of here.
Starting Saturday, September 10th. There's something new to do with your kids, thanks to the ABC Family Movie. Finally, movies on television your entire family can watch together.
My problem.
From your favorite family theatricals to incredible ABC World Television premieres.
Need I say more?
A great new way to spend Saturday night.
You are an animal.
The ABC Family Movie starting Saturday, September 10th.
A 7-1 Chicago lead at the end of 8. Jeff Brantley takes over on the mound for the Reds. More on him in a minute. And, oh, boy, that is nice.
ABC, all Brennaman channel. That's awfully, awfully nice.
Well, it has been a wonderful night, Dad, and certainly
been
one
sensational,
that I will
son.
Forever remember. And we thank again all the folks at the Baseball Network, ABC, that have made this night possible.
And everybody else with both organizations, the Reds and the Cubs, and they know who they are. Everybody said yes, and we will forever be indebted to them for allowing this pairing to take place, if it's only for one time. You make your old man proud, son.
Well, thank you very much. That's all a child can do, or hope to do. Mike Morgan grounds to Barry Larkin, so Morgan will be given the chance to complete his first game this season. Baseball Night in America is brought to you by Lexus Luxury Automobiles, a result of a relentless pursuit of perfection. And Diet Coke, this is refreshment. And MetLife, get Met. It pays.
Well, the only 2 complete games that Cub pitchers have had this year have come from Willie Banks and from Steve Traxel. And that guy right there is going to be given the opportunity to make it a trio of Cub pitchers when he goes out in the bottom of the ninth.
And he'll be facing Morris, Mitchell, and Saunders. Sean Dunston, the batter. 1 of 4. He homered in the 7th inning, his 10th this season.
Tom, Jeff Brantley, as you well know, pitched with distinction with the San Francisco Giants. Another move that Jim Bowden made in the offseason and bringing this Mississippi native into Cincinnati. Fastball, curveball, slider, and split finger. He probably, and Davey Johnson has gone with a bullpen by committee most of the year, but Brantley has essentially been the guy more often than not, simply because he probably is the only one of those guys down there who, to any degree, has a closer's mentality. He knows what it's like.
0-2 to Dunston. And a broken bat roller to Boone. 2 down. Well, the world's best athletes will gather in St. Petersburg, Russia, as ABC Sports begins coverage of the Goodwill Games 94 next Saturday and Sunday. Our coverage starts at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Then later in the day, the games continue on a special edition of ABC's Wide World of Sports. All next Saturday here on ABC. Two down, nobody on. The Cubs in front 7-1 here in the top of the 9th inning. Derek May looks at a ball. Tell you another guy down there, though, Dad, and you've seen a lot of him, but not many National League or American League fans have. They will. Is right-hander Hector Carrasco.
Well, they've got him on the gun this year repeatedly between 95 and 100 miles an hour. He's a young man, as I mentioned a moment ago, has never pitched above Class A ball. He was a player that the Reds got as a player to be named later in a trade with the Marlins for Chris Hammond, and only they would get that player if Hammond won more than 10 games, and Carrasco's been outstanding.
Fernandez throws out May, and that'll do it in the 9th. A perfect 9th for Brantley. His team will come to bat against Mike Morgan in the bottom of the inning. It's been all Chicago here tonight.
When I played basketball, I always wanted the ball. And I got it where it should go. And I always drank Gatorade, because nothing's better. Now I'm playing baseball. I still drink Gatorade. I still want the ball. I still know where it should go. And sooner or later, I'm gonna get it there. I hope. It's gotta be Gatorade.
Wanna taste, you can't turn back. Trying to Pringles double stack. Double stack, vacuum pack. You got to like that. Take the space out of Big Bangs. Don't look so big. That's a drag. And they got pieces of those greases. Pringles got the whole chips, you bet. 2 full stacks is what you get. Get the Pringles double stack of chips. Doubly, doubly, hard to resist. Yeah. Once you pop, you can't stop.
When you come to TGI Fridays, it's gonna be great. Why? Well, watch while we point out the extraordinary things Fridays does to guarantee a great meal. This, you see, is our passion, because at TGI Fridays, we're driven, compulsively preoccupied with the notion that we have to do whatever it takes, every day, every time, so that at TGI Fridays, it's gonna be great. Guaranteed.
Coming this fall, there's a new family moving in after Full House. Meet Steve, a single father raising 3 boys.
You gotta stop spying on William. He's your brother. You may need a kidney someday.
When you give me your kidney, Daddy?
So you can leave it up on that school bus like that coat I bought you?
Me and the Boys, another one of America's favorite families, coming this fall on ABC.
Right. You look at downtown Cincinnati, and yes, Dad, summertime is here, and love is in the air.
Ain't love grand?
Ain't it?
Riverfront Stadium has been grand tonight for Mike Morgan, entering the 9th. He has thrown exactly 100 pitches, 42 balls, 58 strikes, and 14 of the 29 batters have seen first pitch strikes. He has been, in a word, outstanding.
Hal Morris fouls it away. He's down 0-1. Morris 0 for 3, struck out twice.
Oftentimes controversial, always outspoken. The owner of the Cincinnati Reds, Mrs. Marge Schott, a fan's owner if there ever was one. And I'll tell you this, they can say what they want to about her, but when it comes to putting her money where her mouth is in terms of spending whatever it takes to put a winning ball club on the field, that has been the benchmark of her ownership since she purchased this ball club back in the mid-'80s. She will spend money on ball players.
And to add a little bit to that, Dad, as you know, she doesn't stick it to the fans in return. They have the lowest price ticket, the lowest price beverage, the lowest price hot dog, the lowest parking in the major leagues.
Absolutely right.
1-2 to Hal Morris. And the count is even. The Reds scored in the bottom of the first inning. It's been all Cubs ever since. 2 in the second, 1 in the fourth, a couple of home runs in the sixth, single runs in the seventh and eighth. And Morris belts this ball, but right at Derek May. 1 down. Want to remind you, this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent from the Office of the Commissioner. One down in the Cincinnati ninth, trailing the Cubs 7-1, and here's Kevin Mitchell. Mitchell an RBI to drive in the only Red run way back in the first inning. Mike Morgan going for just his second win against 9 losses this season. The only other victory came on June the 23rd, a 9-3 decision over the Florida Marlins. Morgan opened the season 0-7, the worst start for a Cub hurler since Danny Jackson began the '92 campaign at 0-7. No Cub during the 20th century had ever started a year at 0-8.
Well, for a fellow who has been averaging about 5 innings per start, he has certainly held his stuff into the 9th inning. I mean, he's throwing the ball extremely well right now.
There's a drive into deep right field. Sosa leaps. Goodbye. Kevin Mitchell, home run number 22. But it's still a 7-2 Chicago lead.
Kevin Mitchell gave an indication of things to come back in his last at-bat in the 6th inning when he sent Sammy Sosa to the front of the warning track to grab the ball the other way, and this time Kevin goes all the way.
So now it'll be Reggie Sanders. Only the 7th Cincinnati hit against Mike Morgan tonight. And a strike 1 to Sanders, who is 1 of 3.
First home run for Mitchell in 11 days. And that just gives you an indication of what kind of power he has. He has what they call, of course, all fields power. He can go any way, doesn't make any difference.
Well, the Reds are going to need Kevin Mitchell in that lineup on a regular basis, Dad, don't you think, to hold off Houston?
No question about that. He gives this ball club an entirely different look when he's in there because of his ability to break open a ball game. And it's simply a matter of getting him in the lineup